What's up, Evan? I see Evan out there. He's saying, hey, Tim, what's going on? This is Tim. This is, of course, New York Giants Straight Talk, brought to you by the mighty FanDuel. We love FanDuel.com. Of course, we'll always love FanDuel. Number one sports book in the land. We're going to talk about FanDuel shortly, but the clock is ticking. A tick, a tock, a ticky, 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 tock. And the Giants, of course, are not doing anything yet. You watch all these other teams. I got to move the camera a little bit here. You watch all these other teams. You watch the Jets basically trading away their defense with Williams and Sauce Gardner being dumped out. And there's the New York Giants. Hold on. I'm Joe Schoen. Wait a minute. Oh, that was my thumb up my ass. I lost 147 subscribers yesterday. My goal today is to lose 200 by telling the truth. Honest. I'm the American way. What's up? What's up, my brother? How you doing, my friend? How you doing, Lester? What's going on? Jets making moves. Jets are making moves. The Cowboys in your own fucking division, who are on the pinnacle of the outskirts of the playoffs, are making moves. The New York Giants, again, and like I said, it's still early. We still have 59 minutes, but hold on again. Let me go. Joe Schoen, up, thumb out of my ass. I know there's not a big part. I know there's not a big marketplace for Evan Neal. I understand that. I get it because you know what? I'm sorry. Hold on. Some people think I'm a genius, but how can you screw up 5 and 7? Well, you can't trade the 7th overall pick yet. Even if you got a 7th rounder for the guy, couldn't you just send him away? Don't go away, man. Just go away. Couldn't you just send him away? Couldn't you just find a team like the Chargers who are so depleted on that offensive line that they can't keep the duck up straight? But no, we're sitting there. We're watching. I'm looking for any if anyone in the chat too. Also, this of course is always a what is it called? This is always a show where we have participation. If anyone sees anything in the chat that's going on, make sure you give me a shout, give me a call, because I want to know what's going on. Make sure not a call, but someone give me if you see any information. Let's see. Because I got both screens up. I got all 3 monitors running. I'm sitting there watching this, and I love it, though, because of the fact that we're watching all these. We're watching the Jaguars make the move, watching the Raiders make moves. We watch the Saints make a trade. Bears acquiring a former first-round pass rusher of as well. You got – I mean, can you just explain to me how they can get rid of Sauce and Williams? Like, listen, the Jet defense to me should have been good this year. I don't know what the fuck happened. But I know Sauce has got that big $120 million deal. I know we had an off year, but really you got 2 first rounders for him. And then you move on from Williams and you send him and he goes to the Cowboys. So the Giants are like sitting there watching the 3rd overall pick in 2019, 3-time Pro Bowler go over to Dallas. And they also got Logan Wilson. And they traded, in exchange for a 2026 first round pick, a 2027 first rounder, and Smith, the defensive tackle. So the Jets are just like, money, money, money. They're in the strip club, man. They're making it fucking rain. They're over at Poppycockers. Because we always know where the best place to go when you're looking to get your poppy cocked. That, of course, is the one, the only Poppycockers. Oh, West End. They're one of the very first sponsors of the New York Football Giants here. I'm sorry, we'll get the other one. The best place to go and get your poppycock, of course, is Poppycockers. Oh, we haven't done a Poppycockers ad in a while. Our very first sponsor, strip club. What are we supposed to do, guys? I mean, literally, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to look at here? What do we got to say? We need a wide receiver. Let's get to the chat. We need a wide receiver. Yeah, you're 100% right. And the 2 that we wanted are already gone. Because once again, Joe Schoen, thumb out of my ass. Listen, the Jets, who know they're in a rebuild, they can move on from their 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle, their Pro Bowl All-Pro corner, get a massive amount of assets for them. We have Kayvon Thibodeau, who's having the best season of his career with 2.5 sacks and 11 tackles. in only 9 games, which extrapolates over to about 4 sacks, 22 tackles for the year. We can't, and he's on a team-friendly 5th-year option next year. You can't make a trade. You can't move on from him. I'm not even looking for a first rounder for him. Maybe a third. I'll take a third and a 5. Because I got carbon copies, and I got carbon copies of Brian Burns and Abdul Carter right there. I don't need another guy that can't rush the passer and can't play the run. Got too many of those. Dexter Lawrence, who has seen his play serendipitously drop, you can't move on from him. You're not getting first 2 rounds. This is the thing. You are not getting 2 first rounders for Dexter Lawrence. If you got a first rounder and maybe a 5th, I would take it. Because we've seen his play, even with his 8 sacks last year, 9 sacks, excuse me, we've seen his play drop, like I said, serendipitously. So move on. Turn out the lights, the party's over, get the fudge out. Strider says, hey, Tim, we're going to trade for Wando Robinson? Every Giant content creator. Oh, Waddle. Yeah, we're going to go out and get Waddle because we have all this fucking cap space. We need to move guys out, not in. We need to take Dexter Lawrence, figure out if anyone wants Banks. We need to take. We didn't get money for Love. We didn't get anything for McKinney. We didn't get anything from Barkley. We didn't get anything for Evan Ingram. Are you seeing a pattern? We're letting Keystone talent leave. And yes, at one point, Evan Ingram turned into a receiving tight end when he left. His second season in Jacksonville, he had the second most receiving, or excuse me, the second most receptions by a tight end in NFL history for a season. Saquon Barkley leaves and has the most rushing yards, including the playoffs, for an entire season. Both guys are setting records. McKinney, Pro Bowler, All-Pro last year. Love came back to the Giants fucking hat in hand. Said nobody wants me. I'll take less money. Don't worry, we got Yusef Corker. And of course, I think Yusef was bagging my groceries yesterday. Dumb teams do the same dumb shit over and over again. And listen, in 52 minutes, the New York Giants could change my whole mindset by making some moves, by taking out these players. You need to be a seller. You need to sell. You need to be like Mortimer at the end of Trading Places. Sell, sell, sell. Randy and Mortimer, sell, sell, sell. They got fucked on concentrated orange juice. We are being fucked on concentrated orange juice right now. Reggie Hammond. Not Reggie Hammond. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Wrong movie. I'm looking at the top 10 choices for Giants to go out and get as a head coach. Lane Kiffin, Mike Kafka, Cliff Kingsbury, John Harbaugh. Oh, John Harbaugh's just going to leave. John Harbaugh in his 18th season where the Ravens like, no, I don't want to be on this winning team. Mike McCarthy comes out of retirement for this bullshit, for this shit show wrapped in a riddle. We are in a sea of diarrhea, and we're floating on a Mr. Hanky boat. What's up, Tim? Tony from the Bronx. I honestly don't see the Giants making any moves, whether it's selling or buying this organization. Listen, you have to admit finally as Giants, as the organization, you have to admit at 2-7, and you're going to lose next week. So you're going to be 2-8. You're going to lose against Green Bay. So you're going to be 2-9. So you're going to be 2-9 going in towards Thanksgiving. You have to admit you need to rebuild, and you need to rebuild properly. You have Jackson Dart as your quarterback. I'm still not a huge fan of Jackson Dart. I'm not going to lie to you because I haven't seen anything yet that amazes me. He threw 33 passes last week. 25 of them were thrown between -9 yards and 9 yards. So 25 of his 33 passes did not travel 10 yards. That's a problem. You cannot run this. And he did not have more than 100 yards passing going into 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He got all of his yards in garbage time. It's not the first game this has happened. I'm not saying the kid's not going to be a star. I'm not saying that. But I can't anoint somebody this if he doesn't throw the ball more than fucking 10 yards. Thinking he's got something for Hyatt. I forgot about it. What about Hyatt? Everyone's like, no, I don't want Hyatt. I stay at the fucking Hilton. We need a wide receiver. Yeah. Protect says, couldn't trade Kayvon Thibodeau for half a pack of smokes, Neil for a chewed piece of gum. How do you mess up 5 and 7? You watch the Jets move on from these guys. You watch the Jets bail out on these guys. You watch the Jets say, you know what? We're kind of screwed here. So let's just do what we need to do. Get assets and upgrade next year and get ourselves a quarterback, get ourselves some wide receivers. We have wide receivers, but get ourselves the pieces that we need. I'm scanning the waiver wires and everything else here. The Dark Friend says, look at these picks we acquired. Oh, wait, no, we haven't covered anything. Jets making major moves comes from my brother Lester. Muzzle said, I tried my best to hold on to the regime, but I've had enough. They both have to go. And this idiocy that I'm hearing, that we could get rid of one and keep the other. You could get rid of one and keep the other. So you could force a general manager to have another year of Brian Dable, or you could allow Joe Schoen to have another draft class and pick another coach. That's like, would I rather have my arm chopped off, or would I rather have my arm sawed off? Neither one of those choices are appealing, because you're going to be appealing me off the fucking ceiling unless you do something. Hirsch, for real, what's up? The Jets now have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. Oh, why you got to be mean? Lester says, I don't think the Giants should do anything. It's a dud for Joe and Shane. Leave the transactions to the new regime. I don't trust Sleepy Joe. Yeah, but you need to get something for somebody, because you're not going to give 89, 90 million to Kayvon Thibodeau. You can't. You're not going to give this big contract to Wando Robinson as a slot wide receiver, because you can't. Wando Robinson had one of the quietest seasons last year that I've ever seen a wide receiver have, and I kept hearing he's prolific. James Stein says the Giants are not doing shit today. The team sucks, period. Mara needs to make everyone let the Kafka run the team till the end of the season. Hire a new regime. End of story. Jets are doing it right. Rebuild. It's been 14 years, guys. We've had 2 playoff appearances, 1 playoff win in 14 seasons. We are the Jets. We are the early 2000 Cleveland Browns. We have reached the cesspool of cesspooledness. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. But don't worry, we still got time. Dex for 2 first-rounders, get it done. No one's giving you 2 first-rounders for Dexter Lawrence. This receiver market is high right now. Shane isn't trading for one. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If you're going to trade for a wide receiver, he has to be someone that is going to be a piece for the next 3 years. Not that I don't like Waddle out of Miami, but is Waddle really the guy that you want to tie your cart to? Is this the guy you really want to be your eminent wide receiver? He's got 41 receptions for 586 yards for 4.3 yards. He is a guy that, if you take a look at the totality of his career, he's not a short guy, but he is 5'10" and only 180 pounds. He is a guy that's 27 years old, has not had a 1,000-yard receiving season since 2023. And he did play in 15 games last year and only had 58 receptions. You could talk about that being a quarterback, but he has not been the same guy that he was in 2021, 2022. And you hope that you're going to bring him in for a rookie quarterback who 25 of his 33 passes did not travel between -1 and 9 yards. I'm not making that up. And if you want, James Williams, I will bring up the chart, because here we have charts. Let's go to the Super Chat because I'm asking because all Super Chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. How are the Panthers 5-4 in the playoff bubble? How many wins realistically do you expect the Giants have for the rest of the season? I'm still going 5 wins. Said this before. I still think the Giants are a 5-win team, Massey. I've said that. I still think that is the range. And if you look at the schedule, the way it breaks down, we have the games that here's the problem. So it could also be 4 wins because I don't know what Dallas is going to need that last game of the season. That last game of the season is at home, but I don't know on that January 4th game what that's going to be. I'm giving the Bears a loss, the Packers a loss, the Lions a loss, the Patriots a loss. I'm going to give them a win at the Commanders. Commanders at home. I'm going to give them a loss to the Vikings. So we're at 3 wins. I'm going to give them a win. I'm going to give them a win in Oakland. So that's 4 wins. So technically that Cowboy game, if the Cowboys need that game for the playoffs, I'm giving it a loss. If it's just a shit show game, I'm giving the Giants to win. So that's 5 wins. I've been saying 5 wins since the beginning of this season. I have not wavered on 5 wins. You know why I haven't wavered on 5 wins? Because of the mighty FanDuel.com. FanDuel, the #1 sports book in America. We love FanDuel on this channel. Proud partner. If you know what my best part about FanDuel is? Because I love the NFL. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Let's see where the Giants are sitting right now on the mighty FanDuel. The other day, they were 2.5-point dogs away to the Bears. I can't believe they were only 2.5 points. Let's go. Yeah, they're still only 2.5. They're let's see here. They're still what's the hold on. I gotta find the Giants here. Let's see. The Jets are still plus 2.5. The line has moved now to 3.5 against the mighty Chicago Bears, who put up what 38 points the other week. That's going to be a loss. So go to the mighty FanDuel.com. Get yourself an account. I have an account on FanDuel. You can play casino games. You can play that Huff and Puff game. There's a lot of things you could do on FanDuel. You can also watch FanDuel TV. You can also do pretty much everything you want to do. I mean, that's it, guys. That's FanDuel. 500 bonus spins for new players right now on that Huff Puff game. Let's go to FanDuel.com, the #1 sports book in the land. All right, let's see. Let's do a refresh. Anyone got any other news here? We are now 42 minutes and counting away from the end of the trade deadline. I'm going to do my Walter Cronkite voice now here for a while. Or I'm going to do my John Vazanda Labate. Some magic still lingers in the name. Oh, let's see where we're at here. Let's go back up into the chat here. Where do you go, my lovely? Mr. Alvarez says, hey, Tim, the lower tier trades, I would try to make this for the Raiders with their center guard, Jackson Powers, Johnson to the Chargers for the wide receiver, Tim Harris. They try to upgrade the interior offensive line and the wide receiver depth. That wouldn't be too bad. The Eagles will give Kevin. No, I hate the fucking Eagles right now, Mr. Taz. I hate you. Oh, we got problems in our secondary. Let's just go out and make a trade. We got problems here. How we sitting there going, let's just make a trade. Full speed ahead. Damn the icebergs. Joe Shane making no moves of any significance. I agree. Hurst Real says the Giants will do nothing because Dable's trying to save his job. There's no fucking way on this planet. There's no fucking way on this planet that we can do anything. Ryan's from Ryan is streaming at the moment. Ryan's from Ryan Biggs Blue Podcast is now texting me. Don't text me, Ryan. I'm fucking working. Trying to do nothing. You can't. There's no way in hell this guy can save his job. There's no way in hell. If you have 7-2, we've talked about this. 7-2, 2-5-1, 6-11, 3-14, and then you could potentially go 5-11. You got to fire everybody. And I love it because I forgot who it was. And we know what it was.
Stupid giant Twitter post.
Oh, they put it out there that it was Brandon Jacobs, who I love. Brandon Jacobs says, well, you can't keep firing everyone after every 2 years. Really, it's been 4 years, Brandon. It's 4 years. We'll be then 5 years in. But that's all right. That's all right. Oh my God.
But that's okay. Remember, there are no stupid questions, just stupid people.
I wish that the Giants would just figure something out. I wish that the Giants would just make some. I have a lot of wishes. I wish the Giants would just make some type of move. I wish the Giants would sit here and just improve this team by addition, by subtraction. I wish the Giants would just do this stuff. I'm not asking for a lot, am I? I've only been following the team since 76. I lived through the Andy Robustelli era. I lived through all the. I lived through all that garbage. To make sure you're hitting the like button. But it's like it doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't fucking matter. Just do something. Show that show some heart. Show that you fucking care. Show that you are here for the fans and that you want to make this team better. Not just that you are going to, and I love it because we have to go out and get weapons. So we go out and get Smooth Sounds of Kenny G. That backfired. We went out and got Paris Campbell. And Paris Campbell even said, I only went to the Giants because no one else offered me a contract. Go out and get the Waller. We do these things that we know that are against the better judgment of the NFL and building a franchise, and we repeatedly do it. And it doesn't just start with the general manager and head coach. It starts with ownership. I met Wellington Mara. I've met Wellington Mara about at least 4 times. And you could see, and I'm not saying John Mara doesn't have the same passion, but you could see how much for Wellington Mara. And I met him in the good times. I met him in 85 and 86, but then I also met him in kind of the bad times. But you could see the care of the team that he had. I'm not saying John Mara doesn't have this, but he's not Wellington. He's not Wellington Mara. Tish, and I don't know, like with Tish, and then we got the new people. Mr. Alvarez says, hey, Tim, we already got that one. We already got that. Ray, what's up? What's up, coach? We got Ray. I mean, Jar Jar Binks. We got to love Ray. Jeez. Okay, let's Jay Fed. What's up? Can we trade it for a kicker? I'll take a kicker. Yeah, when Graham Gano misses, when Graham Matic can't even hit, and I don't blame Graham Gano. The Graham Gano, he's getting older. He's getting up there in age. Kickers break down. Like sometimes when interior defensive linemen in their 20s, late 20s, all of a sudden have this huge drop in play. Not staring at you, Dexter Lawrence. I love it when people go to me. You would never say this to players' faces. Fucking have. Fucking have. One of my favorite Philadelphia Eagles stories wasn't a current player, but I used to call, and I got in trouble for it because I would go to some of the Eagle Giant games, and we would always go up to the suites, and Vince Papali was always there, and I would always call him Rudy. I'd be like, what's up, Rudy? Rudy Rudiger, Notre Dame, right? He didn't like that. Let's see, 100%. You're right. Jackson Javelin, the dart thrower. Giants are not going to make any moves. No, they're not. Worst dad joke ever. Hey, listen, you got to have them. You got to have dad jokes. Let's see here. We call garbage stats empty calories. I agree. Tim, remember when Dex got 3 sacks against 49ers? Wait, that didn't happen. Let's see. Hertz for Real says Jets GM making better moves than Joe Shane. I don't know if it's better moves. Because yes, Sauce was having a bad year. I'm not going to sit there and tell you he was not. I'm not going to sit there and tell you Sauce Gardner was not playing up to his normal expectations, because he wasn't. But what I am saying is this: you kind of reach a point where you see that the direction of the team, and you see that you need to move on from certain pieces to try to make yourself better. The problem is the Giants don't do that. We don't try to make ourselves better. We just sit there and and then the assets that we do have, we don't sit there and say, you know what, let's keep them. No, we let them go, and we try to get compensatory picks instead of trying to get multiple picks for them in a trade. And you can also subtract those salaries, of course, from the salary cap, because Joe Schoen and everyone else in their infinite wisdom, the Giants have yet to figure out how to maneuver in the salary cap era. They fucked up in 93 going back to Phil Simms, who was the very first Giants salary cap casualty, which I thought was tremendously interesting that they had a Phil Simms bobblehead day. You know, something's going to happen, guys. Something's going to happen. What do we got here? We got 35 minutes. Something's going to happen in 35 minutes. I have my fingers crossed, and I actually can't cross them because I get so much arthritis from breaking all my fingers. I got my fingers crossed that we are going to figure something out, that we are going to make a trade that's going to make this team better, and wait for it, build for the future. Is anyone buying this? Is anyone buying this, or are we all like,
my professional opinion that now is the time to panic?
Because if anyone's buying it, please let me know. Because the future has been the last 14 years. It really has. It's been the last 14 years. We've seen Eli Manning. We had the 6 years of Daniel Jones, and I wish Daniel Jones well in Indianapolis. But I think what happened on Sunday against an actual team, which when you notice Jonathan Taylor had 14 carries for only 45 yards and they rely on Daniel Jones, there was 5 turnovers. And that's just what it is. And I wish him well, but, and you know what the funny thing is, you take a look at Brian Daboll, who's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer. Daniel Jones goes off too. And yes, like I said, yes, it's an easy schedule. There's a lot of things that you can say, but he still goes off and starts playing like an NFL quarterback. 3 years after he leaves Josh Allen, what does Josh Allen do? He wins an MVP. He's gotten better the last 4 years without Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll has had no success outside in the pros outside of Josh Allen. He evidently fucked up Daniel Jones. He couldn't groom anyone else. And now people are like, well, you know, him and Jax Dirt are tight at the hip.
Now, I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty bad.
How could you tie this guy at the hip of anyone? You know what you should do? You should tie his ass to an anchor. Because that's what he is. He is an anchor. Listen, Tim. Okay, I'm listening. The team overpaid Deion Jones and Darius Slayton. Don't be surprised if they overpay KT and Wan'Dale as well. I have a feeling they're going to. Mr. Esquire says, hey, Tim isn't going to trade any of the players he drafted. It's subliminally admitting they were miserable. His entire draft class have been miserable. His entire, I saw one from OGR Sports. Where was OGR Sports? There you go. I'm sorry. Because I saw a petulant child. I was going to make sure I had to get back to that one. Joe is a petulant child. He's not going to trade anyone or get anything because he realizes the number is up and he's just going to stand pat. Probably does not want to get assets for another GM. I would hope that's not the case. I would hope as Joe Schoen, you would think that everything that you do is going to be predicated on the fact that you are going to be back next year. They did bring Gettleman back. Think about that. They did bring Gettleman back. Let's see. Mike wrote to Carl Banks an hour ago. If Sauce goes for 2 first rounders, how do the Giants not entertain moving Dexter Lawrence? I love Carl because he's part of the plan. What's the fucking plan, Carl? Carl, where are you? We got 400 people watching someplace else. We got another 100 people watching over there. Carl's got to be around. Carl, come on down. And I love you, brother, but what's the fucking plan? What's the plan? I love it because I used to tell people all the time, and people used to panic. I'd be like, don't worry, man. I got a plan. You know what these people used to say to me? We are fucked if Tim has a plan and is the voice of reason. So to think that Dexter Lawrence is part of this team, I want to know what the master plan is. I know what it is.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
All right, everyone go to that social media platform that Carl Banks on. You can't say it on this on YouTube because then they knock you down. But everyone go to that channel, that website that starts with a letter, not Z, and go there and tell Carl Banks, come on the show right now. Because I want to know what the plan is. Carl's been on the show. Tell me, Carl. Tell me what the plan is. Joe Schoen is going to let players walk like a dumbass. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan to me. Hey, Tim, listen. The team over. Oh, we got that one. Let's see here. We got Massey's. Coach says one more win. I can see them getting 5 wins. Vaughn says I would keep Dexter. He might be having a down year. Dexter's been having a down year for a while now. Dexter, the last 2 seasons.
King of the almost sack.
That Leonard Williams has had have been better than Dexter Lawrence's. Sorry, it's 100% true. I 9 months ago, I did a video saying we need to trade Dexter Lawrence and everything that I said in that video has happened because you could see the train wreck coming. You could see it. But the problem is this: we see the train, we see the light, and we think to ourselves, oh, that's not a train. That's the problem. We are on the tracks, and we have not figured out in 14 seasons that it's time to just really, really rebuild. If you think you have your quarterback in Jackson Dart, then build around him. If you think you have found something in this organization that is going to cause you to be a perennial winner, build him an offensive line that's even better. Get him a wide receiver. Get him a true tight end, because if you have 5 tight ends, like they always say, if you have 5 of something, you have 1 of nothing. So it's time. You know, the biggest thing that screwed us up was going 7-2. But no one mentions the fact that we went 2-5-1 after. You can't go 7-2, then go 2-5-1 in the same season. It's a dichotomy of 2 seasons. You can't. It's not possible to think that way. So the Giants need to look at the track, at the train coming, and say,
Do you see the light? What light? Have you seen the light?
Yes! Yes! Jesus H. goddamn Christ! I have seen the light!
that's what we need to do. As an organization, as a fan base, that's what we need to do. Come on, guys. Let's has anyone got any other trade news? Let's see here. We got trade news. We have 27 minutes. The clock be ticking. Like Michael Ray Richardson used to say with the Knicks in that 80 season, when all of a sudden the Knicks were dropping quickly out of the playoffs, the ship be sinking. It's time to make a move. It's time to do something. Standing pat is no longer an organizational decision. Standing pat is now fear of failure and fear of success. What's up, Mr. Finesse? I salute to you as well. All right, come on, guys. Go tell Carl, get over here, because I want to see what the plan is. Well, Chris, for the love of MMA, what's up, my brother? How you doing? James Stein says, Joe and Brian are gone. Mara ain't letting them do shit because they're done. Let the new regime build. Yeah, but the problem is this. You have a chance to get assets right now. You have a trend. What is Dexter Lawrence part of? He is part of an defensive line that gives up yards like a fat kid gives up Twinkies. He just eats the fucking Twinkies. That's what he's doing. We give up so many yards. Every team runs the ball for 30 times. I already said it. If I was Shanahan, I never would have thrown the ball. But why didn't you? Because Mac Jones was 14 for 14 going into the half. And then he only completed 5 passes after. Grandpa, what's up? Stop by to say we have been among the biggest sellers. Jet Joe and Shane, the tree rebuild looks like when your team is trash. You just can't sit there and continuously be a 5-win team. That's the problem. You cannot continuously be a 5-win team in this New York market. You can't. And if you go back, and I hate to do this because this always makes me cringe. Going back to 2012, 9-7, 7-9, 6-10, 6-10. We bought a playoff appearance at 11-5, 3-13, 5-11, 4-12, 6-10, 4-13, 9-7, 9-7-1, 6-11, 3-14, 2-7. That's garbage. It's trash. Come on, guys. Let's figure it out. Someone needs to just get a hold of Carl. Get a hold of Carl right now. Someone get a hold of Carl. Tell him to get on right now. I would DM him, but I can't because I can't get my Twitter to work. I can't get Twitter to work. I got nowhere else to go. Coach G says, even if our free agent signings come back, none of them are injury starters and a rush to come back to this shit show. Walla, 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 what's up? What's up, Walla? Hey, Tim, expected 3 to 5 wins this season. They're still on pace for that. They are. So you know what? At least they're being consistent. Strider says, do you see Jalen Hyatt kickoff return too? Lol, yeah, right. Sad he has to return kickoffs. You had a guy you traded up from the 3rd round. It was supposed to be a star wide receiver who I liked. I liked Jalen Hyatt. I thought Jalen Hyatt was going to be something special coming out of Tennessee because even when Hendon Hooker went down and Joe Milton came in, he didn't break stride. Jalen Hyatt. I was wrong on that one. Per Josie Anderson's interest remains cool on Evan Neal. Yeah, because who the fuck wants a guy that hasn't played all year? We don't build assets. Off Broadway. What's up, brother? I said, I don't think Shane has any talent pieces to trade away. That has to be demand for your supply. Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau. You could probably find someone that's going to be a buyer on Deonte Banks. You're not going to get what you expect you're going to get. It's like when Saquon Barkley wanted to be traded. Nope, we're not going to do that. But you're not going to get anything from him at the end of the year. No one's giving up crap. I would take a 7th rounder for Evan Neal because next year he's gone and you're getting nothing. Intel says you were asking too much. Yeah, I know I ask a lot. Juan says, I thought we would have gotten one of those 3 wide receivers that traded. Joe Shane is the GM. He sucks. Yeah, you're right. Tim, man, you're asking this way too much, man. Way too much. Joe Perry says, how do you get a 1st for Tibbs when Brian Burns only got a 2nd? Because Kayvon Thibodeau, I was being sarcastic.
You're bad.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning.
Come on, Joe. You should know I was being sarcastic. That's why I said Kayvon Thibodeau was having his best season ever at 2.5 sacks and 11 tackles. That was sarcasm. Come on, Joe. You know that. Herbologist has smashed that like button. We're going to give a 2-2 from Joe. How the fuck can't we get compensated picks when we blow money in free agency? I don't. Asmi says, breaking news, Neal, Hyatt, Banks for the Eagles for an 8th rounder in 2035. Hey-yo. Nothing's going to happen. Hey, listen, Slider, man. I've got 21 minutes. 21 minutes. Here we go. I'm going to refresh. 21 minutes. Here we go. According to Chode Sports, we just traded for Josh Allen. All right, what do we got here? I'm seeing nothing coming up here. I got nothing. Let's go to my team here. Let's go to my teams. Here. Let's see. Wise men say only fools sign with the Giants. What do we got here? Evan says Joe isn't going to do anything. The Dark Friend says Mara probably somewhere right now. We can't look like we're giving up. Do I see a Visekahema comment? It feels like we're going to get gut punch for Visekahema when he returned it on us and Giants Stadium started punching the field goal post. Yeah, I remember that. Showed Sports says the Giants trade room. There's Giants trade rumors. Oh my God. Todd Taylor. What's up, Big Todd? Allen better get simply trying not to win games with one play anymore. Aspie says, what happens if Mara really sick and we're stuck with Shane Bull forever? Oof. No, because you have you got Tish. My thing is this. Did Tish and I don't know the parameters of the sale because Tish and Mara were 50-50. So when they traded that 10% or they sold that 10%, I still think the Giants need money. I'm not saying the Giants are broke, but I think the Giants need cash. As a season ticket holder, you got that beautiful box behind me last year with the rings, with the ticket and the plexiglass and all that. And then all the giveaways last year for 100th anniversary. And this year, your choices as a season ticket holder gift was a white football or a picture with the Super Bowl trophies. I've been to the trophy room 1,000 times. I don't need a picture. But those are your gifts. And now they only have one bobblehead giveaway this year. And then they sell 10% of the team. Todd says, we got the Todd right there. What does Mr. Connors say? How is Abdul Carter the favorite for defensive rookie of the year with no sacks? Well, he has a half a sack. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Skyder said, excuse me. He has a sack. He has 1.5 sacks. No, he has a half a sack. He has a half a sack in 9 games. So if you extrapolate that, he will have a sack and a half in 17 games, but he only plays 75, 80% of the time. Give the kid a break. He's got like 10 tackles too. Abdul Carter is a Disney character. I've said it before. Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter both had bust written all over them. Big Greg says, can't comment playing Madden. Fuck. Well, get off Madden. Darkfang says, Mel Kiper and his man saying that we should keep Dable for continuity. It's win, win, win. Too many injuries, etc. Schedule. Mel's got to get off the drugs.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
I love continuity. Dable is probably one of the worst head coaches I've ever seen outside of Ray Handley. He doesn't know how to make halftime adjustments. He doesn't seem to have an understanding of how to develop a quarterback. His offensive philosophy is no better than Jason Garrett's. And he is turning Jackson Dart into Tommy DeVito and Daniel Jones. Tim, how can you say that? Okay, bang. Here we go. We got some charts here. Yes, I'm leaving, not doing the show anymore, and the professionalism is just coming out. Do you see a pattern here at the charts? You see that area in the middle between -2 yards and 10 yards. And then you see all the whites, which are misses when he goes over certain period of time. So out of his 33 passes, 25 of them did not travel more than 10 yards. They traveled either negative, and I did the breakdown. The ball literally traveled on average 4.5 yards in the air. And then when he does go over that, he was, let's see, missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, no, that's 5, 6, 7. So he missed 7 passes and he completed 3. So he was 3 for 10 of anything over 10 yards. Boy, that sounds a shitload like Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito. We got to get to the big old super chat. Tim, you sure do streams a lot for a guy that wants to retire. Yeah, because what I'm doing is I'm building up. Retirement's already done. This is already done. What I'm doing is because people have requested it. Is I'm going to try to do more content before February, and I'm not doing videos anymore. All we're going to do is just live streams. And thank you for the super chat. All super chats go to Philadelphia Children's Hospital, and I love Joe, no matter how stupid his comments are. Oh, but you see the pattern. It's a pattern of indignity. What else do we got here? Let's see. Trent, what's up, brother? That stinks. Fishing this franchise will last until Mara sells the team. I agree. Todd Taylor says, make Carl play. He will have a half a sack before Carter gets his first sack. Carter is over there with Papa patting each other on the back, and they're intellectual analysts of everything football. I'm trying to get my Twitter to activate. It's like Wonder Twin Powers, activate. I can't get the Twitter to activate. I wish I could, because I would DM Carl and tell him to get his ass over here and tell him to explain to me what the philosophy is that we are keeping Dexter Lawrence, who will probably be, I said the day we signed Daniel Jones to that contract, that the Giants would not be good again until 27, 28, somewhere in between there. Because I said once Daniel Jones flamed out, you were going to have to take a quarterback in 2025. You were going to need a year in 2026 to build around that quarterback, and hopefully in 2027 you will start being competitive. Boy, I wasn't wrong on that one. Abram says, can the Giants just trade Lawrence now? It can be a good move this season. We aren't going anywhere. Might as well trade Lawrence before his value goes lower. He's 28 and he's going to get more slow. That's the thing. He's 28 years old. By the time we get good again, he's going to be on the wrong side of 30. And we've said this before. He's not Aaron Donald. And all he does is complain. No, not him, but the fan base complains. Well, he's not playing alongside of anybody. I've said this before, and we have 552 people watching right now. Outside of Dominican Sue, name me the other defensive tackles without Googling it that played alongside of Aaron Donald. Outside of Dominican Sue that one season. Oh, wait. What's up, Jeff? Jeff says 20, 45, and 1. The record speaks for itself. Coach T says Banks gets us a 5th or a rounder at least. Neal gets a swap pick. Same with Hyatt. Tibbs gets us a 4th. I think you could probably get a 7th for Evan Neal. I don't see why you couldn't. I think you could get a 6th or a 7th for Hyatt because of the fact that he does have potential. I think you could. I think there would be there, not now because it's 13 minutes left. I think you probably could have got maybe a 2nd and a 5 for Kayvon because that he's only on an $11 million guaranteed contract next year. Dexter, I think you could have got a 1 and maybe a 4. But right now, we're not going to get anything. Dable makes mistakes, doubles down on it, and that's so shame. So does Mara. I see the trend. My favorite part still with Brian Dable was, does everyone remember when Joe Judge challenged a play that was not challengeable? And we got a penalty? Brian Dable did the same thing 3 weeks ago. How we didn't get a penalty on that, I don't know. I'm glad we didn't. But how do you challenge a play that's not challenged? By NFL definition rules, it's not challengeable. Trade for Mahomes. That's according to Chode Sports. You're right, Tom. Sean, what does Sean have to say? I love how many people thought we were going to trade for Waddle and Wilson. We got $4 million in cap space. He's making $7 million left. Yeah, it doesn't work unless you're trading players. Oh my God. Trenton says, what does Trenton says? 1 month-old baby is better GM than Joe Shame. I hope your daughter is doing well. It sounds like she is. Of course, Trenton, the Eagle fan, is the proud father of a little girl who was just born a month ago. So once again, congratulations. Mr. Fitton says, but he gets pressures. Under pressure. We've said this before. I've said this a million times. Pressures are basically a made-up stat. They're not a real stat. Pressures need to equate to something. Everyone thinks that when we did King of the Almost Sack, it was because of the fact that I was making fun of Leonard Williams. I never was, because that season he had that half a sack here. Everyone said, well, he led the league with 48 pressures. Pressures need to equate to something. There are certain quarterbacks, and people think Jackson Dart's that type of quarterback, that throws better when you pressure him. Did the pressure equal an interception? Did it equal a fumble? Did it equal an incompletion? Did it equal a big play? Did it equal a scramble? Did it equal, a 50-yard pass? Did it equal a 10-yard gain? Pressures need to equate to something. Pressure is a great stat, but unless it equals something in a definitive value for the game, it means bull dookie. The only continuity the Giants have is consistently losing. You're right. Ask Me says, who needs wide receiver? Not the Giants, apparently. Who needs linebackers? Not the Giants. Protect says, listen, sir, you can't leave. No, I gotta leave. This is it, guys. This is the last season. I'll still do some New York Giants generations with Ryan. I've talked to Ryan about doing that. But this is the last season of this channel. I'm trying to get down to 0 subscribers. We had 12,600. I think we're down to 12,300. I'm trying to figure out how many more people I can insult with truth. If I get it down to 0, I don't want to be monetized anymore. I want to owe YouTube money. And the Mighty Vandal. Joe, good point. Off Broadway says, Tim, I think there's something wrong with Dexter Lawrence that hasn't been disclosed. I think he has a lingering injury. What was that? Let's see, that he was hurt within he had the elbow injury. He had the elbow. Here's the problem, though. He came out and said the elbow's fine. It's not bothering me. He can't go back and use that as an excuse now, because then it looks like he's just a cop-out. Also, but you know what? Sometimes this just, I know people don't want to talk about this as you're hitting the like button, the 140 people so far in that room, is the fact that sometimes players reach this age and they just go downhill. Sean Alexander, great running back, phenomenal. All of a sudden, it's like 28, fell off the cliff. Not literally, but he fell off the cliff, reference to his career. It happens. Sometimes the body just stops working like it used to. Joe says, I can get a continuity thing if we had well-coached teams. Otherwise, it's laughable. Tim, breaking news. Joe Schoen finally opened his pocketbook of Uncrustables. Bad news, he did nothing with it. Asmi says, we suck at drafting anyway. So you're right. It's a good point. What does it matter? Tim, you're my GM, but I still have Madden 2023. Listen, I still play the original. I still play Madden 93. All right. And I also still play. This NFL Talk Football. That's in the background right now. That's Joe Valerio. Joe Valerio has been on the show, former offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was the first, before Mike Vrabel, he was the first guy that was catching tight ends. So I still play. I still play that. Yes. Congratulations, Trenton. Mr. Esquire says teams don't like Neil because they think players will purchase left guard when they go up against them. Maybe they don't like him because they don't like burgers. If you pressure a quarterback and he throws a touchdown over your head, you have accomplished jack shit. That's the thing. Pressures need, and I always hated that stat because it's not really an NFL stat. At least when I worked in the league in the early 2000s, it was not a stat. But now you have all these websites that put out these stats and these next gen stats and everything else. But the problem is this: pressure needs to be something. All right, we have 7 minutes. 7 minutes remaining. A tick, a tock, a tick, 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 tock, and you don't stop a rocket to the bang bang boogie. Set up, jump the boogie with the rhythm of the boogie to be. Did Bryce Hall get traded? Because I know he was on the blocks at one point in time. Let's see here. Garrett Wilson are out there. I love it. Bryce Hall to Garrett Wilson on his way out the door. Did Bryce Hall get traded? To 30 other. No, he's still on the clock. Let's see here. Have we gotten any additional trades, guys? Let's see. Have we gotten any additional trades? I'm 5 minutes. Let's see here. Latest on Bryce Hall, Deebo Samuels. Okay. I'm not seeing any other trades that are worth looking at. I still cannot believe they traded Sauce Gardner and Williams. That just fucking blows my mind. That literally blows my mind. And we can't move on from Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence because one is going to be old by the time we're good, and the other one's probably not even going to be here. Trenton says, Tim, when we officially shut down the channel, do a 24-hour stream where all of us can come on and say our tearful goodbyes. When we close down the channel, we're going to do something phenomenal. It's going to be the Tuesday after the Super Bowl. We are, and we're going to start like at 6:00 at night. We are having an extravaganza. I have so much shit to give away. No, we have autographs. We have rally towels. We have bobbleheads. We have all types of yearbooks. We have a Christmas stocking. We have ugly hats and more rally towels. I got so much giant shit all over the place. I can't even tell you how much shit I got right now. Anyone's been to my office is always amazed. Because literally I also have a clothes rack on the other side of the office that's just full of autographed jerseys. Asmi says, one day Carter's going to evolve from pressuring the quarterback to actually touching the quarterback, tackling the quarterback. Well, that's part of another day. Ryan's of Ryan Big Bone Podcast says, Joe Shane seems to have nothing else going on. Maybe we should have him on New York Giants Generations tonight. I got to see if I can work tonight, Ryan. I got some stuff going on, but I got your text message. I'll text you back. All right, we have 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's the final countdown. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Do we think anything's going to happen? Do you think anything's going to happen?
Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here.
Not up in here!
I'm going to say no. Super Techno Bowl, best football game ever. Slider says, I heard Giants fans said, did you see Dexter Lawrence blow up the line? I was like, still wow. Did you see the first down or the touchdown allowed when Dexter collapsed the pocket? Who the fuck cares? Nothing. What's up, Prime? How you doing, my brother? Salute to Big Tim. Evan says, 5 minute warning, 5 minute warning. Joe the Petulant Child. Joe the Petulant Child. We have 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I think Joe can do it.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I just said, Darth, I think Joe can do it. Tibbs, Banks, Hyatt for Wilson. Which Wilson? We should just trade back and get Leonard Williams again. Coach T says, Carter tackles like an offensive player playing defense for the first time. Why? He only had a 28.9 missed tackle percentage that last year at Penn State. Surprise, surprise. The Eagles keep A.J. Brown. And McGregor says, just won the epic game comeback win. Anyone want to smoke? Let's see here. All right, come on, guys. We have 3 minutes left. Now, here's the best thing. You got to wait till like 15, 20 minutes after the trade deadline, because sometimes at like 3:59 and 40 seconds, trades are submitted to the league office. Now, a trade's not official until you submit it to the league office, and then it gets verified. So the Giants can make a trade at 3:59 and 48 seconds, and then it's got to get verified, and then it's got to, yeah. So we could still have hope that we are going to do something to make this team better. Like get assets. Does anyone know how pissed I'm going to be if we don't do anything? Has anyone come to that rationale and realization that I may literally blow a gasket if we don't do anything? I might have to have OGR Sports on just to calm my ass down, because I could literally have an embolism if we don't do anything. But I won't be shocked. David says, do you think ownership told the GM no trades? I don't know. Mara keeps saying that he's not involved in football operations. Wellington used to be involved in football operations till he brought in George Young. We haven't found our George Young yet. I just keep thinking, is there any possible way? And I know it's not going to happen. Trades for head coaches have happened before. You look at the John Gruden trade in Tampa. Is there any possibility we can go get Matt LaFleur? That we can just call up the Packers and say, listen, you know what? We'll give you a first round pick for Matt LaFleur. If he was willing to come here. Start blowing a gasket. Why wait 15, 20 minutes? Because I have faith, OGR. I have faith that this is going to happen. I don't need. What are we talking about? I'm going to need a neuralizer. Let's see. Started to say we found someone young. He just sucks. Ryan says, should have traded Tibbs, Dexter. You know it's bad when the Jets are handling their deadline 1,000% better. Chris Mara and Tim McDonald are George Young. Oh, my God. It's not done. Okay, listen, guys, it's not done. The Giants could have submitted a trade at 359. All trades need to be submitted to the league office and verified before they can be announced. Okay? Oh my God, I'm Chode Sports. Excellent. Okay? Tim won't leave us. He loves us too much. Let us succumb to watching Chad Sports and Tana. Here's my thing, guys. I'm leaving. Leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Never. It's done. Sorry, it's done. I wish it wasn't done, but it's done. People are like, you're just doing this and you're building. No, because I wouldn't be insulting people and trying to lose subscribers. And I lost 398 subscribers so far in a week. Only I can do that. Davey says, George Michael songs, gotta have faith. Shane probably thinks it's my. That summed it up. Joe Shane is on daylight. Joe Shane forgot to set the clocks back. That's what happened. He thinks it's Monday. Let's see if we can't get an update on that site that people go on that's got a letter, because I can't say it. Let's see what we say here. We go. Let's see your Giants. Carl Banks says they won't, and they won't, and they will win with him. We ain't winning with Dex. We're wasting his prime years. Trade him for a couple ones, and everyone's happy. Oh, Carl. 1 hour left. Let's see. Nothing yet with the Giants. Will they make any moves? I sincerely and truly hate Joe Shane. Hate is a big word. And my mother told me you should never use the word hate, because that's not nice. But I sit there and I look at this man, and I look at the smugness, and I look and I watch Hard Knocks, and I see him at this table playing Uno with his wife and the bedazzled hat and the bedazzled coat and everything else. Like, you just want to be on fucking reality TV, because in reality, you suck as a general manager. You suck at evaluating talent. You suck at picking head coaches. You literally suck like a hooker in Amsterdam.
That's what she said.
Giants did nothing to improve the team for the present and the future. Day Off Broadway says, Tim, if you pack up straight talk OBB, what are we going to do? I've been here since the less than 500 subs. Come on, man. What I might do, I was thinking about this, though. What I might do is for maybe 1,000 people, maybe 500, just have a private channel so we could still all chat. Davey says, Joe, just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday. What's up, Stanley? Now why are you leaving, Tim? So does this mean you're retiring for broadcasting on YouTube? No, I'm done. I'm going to continue to get off my lawn, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer, which is now being rebranded as Fuck Your Sensitivity, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. I got other projects, and I just don't have the energy to deal with a franchise that is just so backwardly mobile that it's idiotic in its idiocy. I'm going to put the link in the chat. That's how ballsy I am lately. If anyone wants to come on and tell me all your thoughts about the New York Football Giants, come on down. Also, we're going to do a live stream, another live event. We did this last year. We did it at the Shannon Rose in Clifton, New Jersey, kind of a live stream meet and greet. And we called the Pittsburgh game, which was kind of funny because it was the Pittsburgh versus Giants and Russell Wilson. We're going to pick a spot somewhere in middle of New Jersey. No, we're probably going to do up northern New Jersey again. We got a couple of places that we're kind of trying to figure out which one we're going to do before we end this thing. I might make it the last game of the season. I might make it the Dallas game. I haven't decided because, like I said, they haven't flexed that date yet. So we got to kind of wait and see what it has. We suck at everything.
That's what she said.
Miz says, I think Mara had enough, and it's like the other commentator says, they can't make any real decisions. Joe Shane can't make any moves. He's good as gone. Tim, Joe, and the team just dialed the wrong number. They lost their Rolodex. Listen, guys, I have 15 minutes. Not before I walk out today. But I told you, like I said, it usually takes anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes to verify a trade. So I am still holding out hope that the New York Giants did something. I'm going to Giant News. I'm on that site. I really hate this team. I really do. It's no longer a love-hate relationship. Let's see. Packers trade rumors real. Green Bay's interest in the Giant first-round bust. Come on, Green Bay is interested in Evan Neal. Or they were interested in Evan Neal. I'm waiting to hear. This came from Easton Butler of the Packer Report. The Packers called about the Giants about offensive lineman Evan Neal. And the New York Giants said, Evan Neal, who's that? Is he on our team? Nope, I got nothing. It's Northern New Jersey, Tim, and I will be. Well, thank you, Evan. Yes, it is Northern New Jersey. I lived in what they refer to as Central New Jersey, but there is no Central New Jersey, people say, because I lived in Trenton. So not too far from Calhoun Street. So you have Northern New Jersey and you have Southern New Jersey. And evidently there's nothing in the middle of fucking New Jersey. All right. We got 14 minutes. I got a feeling that the Giants are going to do something. I got a feeling. Because right now I have not seen any reports that say the Giants have not made any moves. I have not seen one report yet. This is called being a true Giant fan, where you have now reached the point of utter desperation. Not trading Evan Neal and Ohio's malpractice. Another disappointing trade deadline. Let's see. Why are you all reacting to the Giants? If the Giants traded Dexter Lawrence for 2 first-rounders and Brian Thomas, yeah, that would have been a good trade. Because you know what's funny? They wanted to move on from Brian Thomas Jr. over in Jacksonville. Why couldn't we have traded him, Dexter Lawrence, in a first-round pick for Brian Thomas Jr. in Jacksonville? That could have been a good move. I would have liked that move. Guys, I'm starting to think we're not doing anything. I'm starting to think that the Giants have once again slapped us in the face and said, fuck you all. We're just going to continue to lose and sincerely and unequivocally over-evaluate any talent that we have. I am trying not to rant. I am trying to harness my feng shui. I am trying to find that modicum of decorum that's going to propel me into this last segment of the season, these last 9 games, that we have just reached the pinnacle of Giant stupidity, organizational ineptitude. And I'm just thinking to myself out loud, why are we, you know what? This is going to calm me down. This is going to be my yin to my yang, because we need a person to come in here with experience, with knowledge, with fortitude in the Giants. Everyone, one more time, been on the show before a bunch of times. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Banks.
How's it going, Tim?
We have a team of fucking morons. Our owner is a dipshit, and I am sorry that he has cancer and he's dealing with that. But his ineptitude and his stupidity makes me want to fucking vomit, makes me want to take every dime that I've spent on the New York Giants, every piece of merchandise that I have, put it in a goddamn industrial shredder, and then serve it with some hamburger meat to the fucking morons that work in that building on Giant Way, because their stupidity is even reached beyond the pinnacle of Andy Robustelli, or the time that the Giants traded the second overall pick for Craig Morton, which happened to be Randy White, the Manster, who led them to multiple Super Bowls and a Hall of Fame. I hate this fucking organization. I hate this fucking team. I don't understand why they think they can do this to the loyal fans that have been watching this team since 1976. But you know what? You're going to bend me up the table, fuck me without any lube, and then call it Tuesday.
My God, that was an epic rant. I have to give it to you. But what did I say to you 4 years ago?
I'm old. I don't remember what someone said yesterday.
No, you don't, because you remember so much stuff. You could tell me how many passing yards Phil Simms had in 1989. So, I mean, please. I said, before they hired Dable and Shane, or when they hired Dable, I said, do you really trust them to make the right decision?
No, and actually, the conversation that we had that led to that was the fact that, do I really think that I can put faith in Brian Dable and Joe Shane to make the right decisions to move this franchise forward? Yes, I do remember that.
And
yes,
we were proven right, because we both said no. So, I mean, there's that.
89, 3,061 yards.
Told you.
Just throw that out there. Phil Simms is my favorite player. That's not fair.
Well, actually, I've never heard you admit that Phil Simms is your favorite player. I did not know that.
Phil Simms is probably one of my favorite. Well, it depends on if a Giant comes on the show, then he's my favorite player. Like Carl Banks, when he was on, was my favorite player.
Before this channel shuts down, you need to get Phil Simms on the show.
Well, everyone knows we talked to the mighty Matt Simms. We've had Matt Simms on a bunch of times. I don't, I don't like asking personal favors from people that I've built, other relationships with. But before I leave, I actually might ask Matt.
I appreciate that. I would enjoy it a lot. But, does anybody see the similarities, and this is including Chad, does anybody see the similarities between 6 years ago and now? Because I do, and it's eerily similar. It's actually quite frightening, to be honest.
It's quite frightening, and I'm not bashing Jackson Dart. I want everyone to understand this. I'm not bashing Jackson Dart, but people are like, he's having a better season than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had 5 300-yard games, 3 touchdowns. 3 games of 4 touchdowns or more, 1 game of 5 touchdowns or more on a arguably worse team. And he actually threw the ball deep. We didn't throw 25 passes between -3 and 9 yards. We were able to, and then when he did throw it deep, he didn't complete 3 of 10. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, remember when he was chucking the ball deep in the Denver game?
Yeah.
How many of those actually should have been picked off, and we never even would have been talking about?
Oh, you are just so fucking negative.
But no, getting back to it, it's just eerily similar. Like, we were hyped up about Daniel Jones, or at least a lot of people. You were never actually, and people were saying, fire Pat Shurmur, and obviously we had a horrible season, and we kept Dave Gettleman for the next 2 years, and the rest is history. But it just, all those actions, it plays into now. Like, would you be shocked if we had a repeat of the last 6 years? 6 years from now?
You know what I'm worried about?
Oh, I'm worried about a lot too.
You know what I'm worried about here? I'm not worried about death. I'm not worried about taxes. Because that's, I always say, the biggest concerns people have is death and taxes.
Yep.
My concern is they're going to bring these fucking morons back. That they're going to say, we got to give them year 5 because they didn't fuck up enough the first 4 years. That
no.
you have multiple drafts that potentially could not even be on this roster next year. His entire 2023 draft could potentially be completely gone. His 2022 draft could potentially have 2 players out of 12. His free agency sucks. His cap management is abysmal. You know what, Joe? I'm going to buy you for fucking Christmas. I don't know if he's Jewish. I don't know if Shane is Jewish. I don't know. Or maybe Hanukkah is a fucking calculator. Oh, I know what I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you a goddamn abacus.
Or
you look like a moron and don't know where the number 8 is.
Or you could just, ask Howie Roseman to explain to him void years. Maybe that would help.
Oh, you mean like taking all the money, putting it up front, and all the dead cap space up front? Because of the fact that if you did that, when they're 5 years in the contract and the first 2 years are done, there's no dead cap number? And then like Jalen Hurts, I'm going to sign this contract, but I want a no trade clause. Fine, motherfucker. You want to know why? Because in the first 3 years, I got like $140 million in dead cap space. I'm not moving you. Joe Shane would sit there and be like, no, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to franchise tag you because I have moron written on the fuck of the back of my head. His son should go out and learn. I'm sorry, kids, get out. I'm cursing. His son should be the general manager of this team. I don't even know Joe Shane's son's name, but he should be the general manager.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because he has more football smarts. And I'm so mad, I literally cannot think of the words. He's got more football aptitude at 15 years old than the moron that we know as Joe Shane. Now watch it come down in 4 minutes that they have all these trades. And I'm going to sound really stupid.
No, you're not going to sound stupid. He didn't make a single move.
I'm trying, man.
I know you're trying. But the reality is you've already gone off and it's completely valid. And a lot of Giants fans should share your sentiment, but they don't. I
don't get that. Explain. You are an intelligent man. Explain this to me. We have been inept for 14 years. We've had 2 winning seasons. Oh God, turn that light off. Just kidding. We've had 2 winning seasons in 14 years, 1 playoff win in 14 years. We have seen no success since 2011. We had the 11-5 season where we bought that season, but we've shown no progress. We've shown no growth. We've shown no ability to harvest our own talent and cultivate it and grow it and keep it. But instead, you see a fan base, and this is why I hate MetLife, because it's almost like you went to MetLife, and I think there's a magnet in there or something that just made all of our fan base stupid. We have been so bad for 14 years, and everything that we do, every free agency, it's the greatest free agents ever. Every draft, it's the greatest draft ever. Every player, greatest player ever. Every time there's someone that's a free agent, we should go sign them. Cap space be damned. Everything, nothing is predicated on the system that we run, the philosophy that we run, salary cap reality, the fact that we have sucked for so long that we cannot pick a first round pick to save our lives. But the fan base, is it just the fact that they are beaten down so much that they have no clue how to, I'm apoplectic about this. They have no clue about how to complain. Instead, you're following blind hope. I go to these games now, 60% of the home games are the away team's fans. Explain to me, OJR. Explain to me. Because you're smart. Explain to me.
I mean, it's living on hope and a prayer. I mean, you have people that sit on Giants YouTube for the last 20 years cutting promos like they belong in WWE. And they truly believe it. I mean, there's Giants fans that sit this far from the TV and react to everything they see. And they live on hope and a prayer on every play. I mean, you're not talking about intelligent people. I'm sorry. I've actually talked to some of these people. They're not intelligent at all. They have no brain cells. There's a reason why we are voted the dumbest fan base, because I don't know, nobody wants to see common sense. It's crazy to me. Nobody even learns from the past. And we're not talking like past 50 years or 60 years or 70 years. No, we're talking the past 10 to 5 years. People do not learn from mistakes. We keep making the same mistakes over and over again, hoping for a different result. And it's like, people, we're about to make the same mistake again. And you're just like, let's go for it. I mean, that's the definition of insanity. It's crazy to me.
Definition of insanity is just being a Giant fan.
It is. It is. And I will continue to root for this team. They are maddening, but it's something that I've been doing since I was a child. I personally, I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment, and so are you, because it's not like you're going to stop being a Giants fan. You may stop a YouTube channel, but you're not going to stop being a Giants fan. I know you.
Slider says it best. It's common sense. I laugh at common sense. Full speed ahead. Damn the icebergs. Full speed ahead.
And you know what? You might be right for a different reason when you said they might keep both of these guys, even though we might not even reach 5 wins, because John Mara is going to be battling cancer. Is he in the mind state to actually even make a decision? And I don't know if he's ever going to trust Steve Tisch on his own. He's never allowed Steve Tisch to make a major decision. John is always the guy who makes the decision. The Tisch family kind of runs the business side of things,
that's
the TV side of things.
Thing. Yeah, Tisch has run that's the agreement on the sale. Tisch has run the business end, the TV, the revenue, all that, and the Maras run the football operations. That was part of the 50-50 sale. So yeah, that's never going to change. My question is, with the 10% sold, was it 5 and 5 from both sides?
I don't see Mara's not being majority owners in that.
Well, Mara's not the majority owner now. It's a 50-50 split.
I know it's 50-50 split, but I don't see him doing 5 and 5. I would say more would I could see like a 6-4 on the Tisch side. I don't see Mara sitting there and not wanting to be, in charge of football operations.
Because my question is, if someone can Tisch get whatever this new ownership is on his side and basically push Mara out?
That all depends on what the split is. We don't know where the 10% came from. So, like I said, if it's a 6-4 split, Mara's still majority owner.
My worst fear is Chris Mara.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
He's into the horses. He's into all that bullshit, but he doesn't know anything. My worst fear is someone like Chris Mara. God forbid something happens to John Mara, or even just the fact that John Mara decides to relinquish his power to Chris.
You haven't heard the nightmare scenario, because my thing is,
there's a nightmare scenario besides Kevin Abrams and
yep,
and Mara's still being here.
That's bothering me. I'm just gonna go back to natural light. There's too much shadow in my eyes. But
you actually meant on the top of your head. I said you meant on the top of your head. Sorry, just had to go that way. I would take my hat up and my hair would go.
Oh yeah,
haircut tomorrow, guys. So my hat will be off. Haircut tomorrow.
But yeah, it's crazy to me, and I mean, hopefully nothing happens to Chris.
No, you don't know anything happened to John. Nothing at all.
I hope nothing happens to John, because I don't trust Chris. I mean, maybe Chris would sell the organization at that point. Maybe they would, because rumor has it the guy that did purchase the 10%, he wants to become an NFL owner. Like that is the rumor. That maybe this is, the 10% was just eventually contingent on the Giants selling the team. I hope that's the case.
It is now 4:24.
You already went on your tirade. I can only imagine what's going to happen now.
It is already 4:24. I am not seeing anyone in reference to the league offices now coming out with any type of deal for the New York Football Giants. So,
God damn you, daylight savings time.
Daylight savings time. Oh yeah, it's almost dark outside. Look out the window. It's almost dark out there. A female bought 10%. I don't have a problem with a woman bought 10% of the team, except if it's the Linda DeLoray, or whatever her name was, that bought the Mets. I mean,
God, don't remind me.
You know, that was a nightmare.
And I'm a Sox fan.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Just because I made a comment about a giant YouTuber that happened to be a woman doesn't mean I don't think a woman can own a team. I just think sometimes people are chat GPT content creators, and that's who I think Giant Girl is. So sorry. Avery, Savory Avery. What's up, my brother? What are you doing?
What's going on, Tim? Hey, I just had a couple of thoughts on this trade deadline, you know, because I know everybody's up in arms about, you know, Joe Schoen not doing anything.
Okay,
but I don't think we should be surprised that
down.
nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna calm you down because
all right,
I don't think anyone should be surprised that any moves didn't happen. This might not calm you down, but but you got to think about the position that the Giants are in. You know, we brought back Dable, we brought back Shane, and we put them in a situation where they're on the hot seat via what John Mara said at the end of last year. So as we approach the trade deadline, when we only have a first, a second, a fourth, a fifth, and 2 sixes, you don't really have a lot of assets to give up to get new players in here. And you're 2-7, so we really shouldn't be buyers, but we should really be sellers. Right. But you got to think, Joe Schoen and Brian Dable aren't too concerned about what's going to happen next year because they're probably not going to be here. So for them to take those players away from the team, they're going to start looking at it like, why do we care about assets for next year when we probably won't be here next year?
Watch this.
You know, and I think that's the position. That's the position that John Mara put us in. Now, I trust me, I'm not in favor of Schoen and Dable. I just
I can sell that
situation that John Mara. I just think that's the situation that John Mara put us in. We got fucked.
But think of it this way, though. This is why I'm pissed. Because I have this thought process. I have this stuck in my head that these two morons are going to be back next year. And to your point, we have no assets. We have players that are now a year older and deeper into their contracts that Joe Schoen did not stagger. And we now have the need for a wide receiver, potentially a running back, because Cam Scadaboo's injury is not this little. I mean, he broke his ankle to the point that the bone was protruding through his leg and had to have emergency surgery. And then he had the other, he tore the ligaments and everything else. So that's not an injury that he could potentially come back from immediately. So my concern is, and Avery, oh, there we lost you. We still got your audio. But my concern is that these idiots are going to be back, and there's nothing in the cupboard, and they're going to rely on talent, which over the last 2 years has produced nothing.
Yeah, that scares me. It really does scare me to bring Schoen and Dable back, because what have they done? You know, 2-7, 3 seasons in a row. You know, no impact players. You know, at best you got average starter depth guys. And what are they going to do with one more free agency, one more draft that's going to turn this team into contenders? They're not. We need a new direction and a whole new refacing of the team.
And the funny thing is, like, we sat there and we always made fun of Dave Gettleman. And by no means am I sitting there, you know, touting Dave Gettleman. But at the same time, Dave Gettleman was a better talent evaluator than Joe Schoen. And I can say that confidently because most of the good players on this team, Dave Gettleman drafted.
Well, the problem is in that playoff season, it was with majority of Dave Gettleman's talent.
Guys. Right. The more Schoen guys we got in here, the worse the team got.
I love it. I love it. I love it, Avery. Asmi says, sitting in darkness seems apropos right now.
Yes, that is how we are as Giants fans right now. We are in the dark. We have no idea what we're doing. If you read some of the comment sections from Giants fans, I mean, it really blows your mind.
It really does.
I'm disgusted.
And the crazy thing is, how can somebody sit there and have trade rumors and sit there, we're 2-6, 2-7. Oh, we're going to get a wide receiver. Why? What team does that? That is 2-7.
Right. Especially when we have a lot of problems on defense. We can't stop anybody. and Jalen Waddle isn't going to change.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle wasn't going to change that. And not only that, it's just, Tim was sitting there and being like, hey, you have 3 undersized linebackers. How are you going to stop the run? We've given up, 200 yards the last 2 weeks? And it's only going to get worse. And teams realize now, you just run the ball against the Giants. You start controlling time of possession. They can't stop you. So we're going to shorten the game on the Giants. And now the Giants have to be pass happy because they can't run the ball either. So
I'm still amazed that 634 people are still watching this garbage. They must be Giant fans.
So let me ask you this question while I got you on.
Sure.
Just hypothetical. If someone offered you 2 firsts for Dexter Lawrence, what would you say to that?
Yes, please. First of all,
I just heard a certain content creator just kind of absolutely blow that out the water.
Who was the certain content?
I'm not going to say any names, but
say it. You're not on the screen. No one knows who you are.
They have a a nation show, Giants. I heard. I listened to Bobby Skinner talk with Jordan Run-On about that, and I'm thinking 2 firsts for Dex. Get him out of here. Dex is 28 years old. By the time he's good, he's going to be approaching 30.
We're good, and he's going to be about 31, 32.
Exactly. It's going to take this team at best 2 or 3 years to do it right.
Let's face it. Dexter is the only guy you could have gotten a first-round pick for. There's not a single other entity on this team you could have traded for a first-round pick besides Brian Burns. And you're not going to move that because of how many times you've restructured contracts. So,
does everyone understand that Dexter Lawrence's birthday is November 12th? So he's going to be 28 this year. He will be 29 9 games into the season next year. By the time we're good, he will be 30. Not good. By the time we're supposed to be competitive, he will be over 30 years old.
Let's just hope that the regime that comes in here sees that, and because they're going to get. There's no doubt in my mind, Dable and Shane will get replaced. Maybe not. Maybe not
this year.
Maybe not Shane, but at least Dable will be gone. But I don't trust Shane to make a good coaching hour anyways. But at least he'll hopefully come to his senses and understand he needs capital to try and rebuild a team, or at least get more players to try and rebuild a team. But
just another day. Avery, I'm going to let you go because I got another guest that wants to come on as well. But Avery, you are always welcome to come on. Just next time you see the link in the chat, make sure you jump on and join us. I appreciate your support. And like I said, next time we're doing a stream and you're around, make sure you pop on in so we can say hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, man.
You too.
Had to get to Greg because Greg's on a totally different time zone. Oh, we got the stoner and we got the philosopher. Also, I'm going to drop the philosopher and Greg because you know what? I need some gummies. I need to be stoned right now because you're looking dapper. You know what? You both are looking dapper. I don't want anyone to seem like I'm playing favorites, except Greg. You're not wearing your pink Giants sweatshirt.
I was gonna go and get it, but my girlfriend's sleeping, so I can't wake her up. But another deflating year, Tim.
Tell me how, man. Tell me how. Just let it out. Take a breath and let it out, and just you're in a safe spot here. You're amongst friends. I feel sincerely underdressed, and I'm looking for a tie, but you're with friends.
Another bad draft. Not a bad draft, but like Abdul Carter mistake. Jackson Dart, went. Once the league gets another year of tape with him, good luck. If you got to think about it, Jaden Daniels had a down year, right? Yeah. And he's like super way better than Jackson Dart.
He was more highly rated than Jackson Dart.
Yeah, and could you imagine when they have tape on him? He's going to get destroyed next year. We have no depth, no nothing, no receivers, no backups. This is deflating. I actually had a glimmer of hope this year. No, I didn't. I'm lying. It's like, what am I?
Like, man, listen, in therapy, you're not allowed to lie.
Yeah, I know. But
You're,
I
you're,
was trying
you're,
to.
you're supposed to tell the truth. But hold on a second. I want to make sure. I'm going to make sure the stoned gets in, the philosopher gets in here because he's driving, and I always worry about when people are driving or on the show at the same time because all I'm waiting to see is I'm just waiting to see something happen and be like, oh yeah, that was my fault. Okay, okay, philosopher. First of all,
Well,
you got to
look,
be
man.
you got to be coming home from work.
I just left the losers convention. Joe Shane was the key speaker.
He was,
So, I'm
speak.
sorry I was late, but no, I mean it's just crazy. I saw an article on ESPN that said this is the most trades at the trade deadline in like 10 years or something, and the Jets are unloading everybody and their mom. They do nothing. It's crazy.
I think
Crazy.
Sauce Gardner's mom is going though. Not we're losing you there. We're losing you here, brother.
Hello.
We're losing.
Did you get me?
We lost him there. All right, Greg. Okay, man. Tell OGR Sports. Just tell them something. Tell them something good.
There's nothing good about this season. There's nothing good I can tell him. I wish I can tell him, whisper sweet good things in his ear, but I can't.
Whisper those sweet nothings into his ear. Tell OGR who's in the middle of us that OGR, it's gonna be all right.
Okay, can I ask you guys, how did we get here? I'm gonna be 50 years old in 3 years, right? During my time, we won 4 championships. We've always been competitive. How did we get to this place?
I walked downstairs and through the movie room and then opened up my office door.
But how did we get this bad?
Giant fans. Oh, okay.
Easy.
I got here.
Greg, I mean, that one's easy. I mean, there's no one to blame at this point, John Mara. When you're consistently getting your GM pick wrong, you're consistently getting your coach pick wrong, he has input on each and every decision. Even if, Hard Knocks tells a different story, which I don't believe it does. I still don't believe everything I saw on Hard Knocks. But at the end of the day, it's John Mara. It truly is.
The Giants had creative control over Hard Knocks, and that's what we saw. I got to drop in this gentleman as well because he's I haven't seen him in a while. Mr. Bruce, where have you been, my brother? I have not seen you in a while.
Working, and
that fucking. Yeah. I'm tired of the excuse that you people have jobs. I'm tired of hearing that. You don't see me complaining about working.
Yeah, man, it's been hectic, but I had to jump on because it's just laughable after a certain point. It's like I still can't. As the brother said, there have been so many trades that have happened, and the Giants couldn't even trade like we couldn't get any picks, we couldn't get anything. And as you said, Tim, low key, I think Joe Shane and Dave were about to be back because, listen, they're gonna use the fact that we got Jackson Dart and we needed to progress him and this and that, and it's like another season of going 2-7. It's laughable after a certain point, man.
Laughable, and to Greg's point, I guess who either had to leave or his internet cut out because he is in Sweden. How did we get here? That was a great question. And Greg is back. Hold on, I'm gonna knock Greg in because I wanted to Greg, I'm asking Mr. Bruce here because I loved your question. How did we get here? How did we in 14 years? How did we reach this point, Mr. Bruce? How have we gotten here?
Well, I personally believe that, and controversial, I believe it started with the draft that we could have gotten a quarterback where there was Josh Allen and Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson. I felt like we could have went the quarterback route. But even if it wasn't that, then it was trading Odell. And then after that, it got into like just years and years of just fuck ups with drafts. And then the pinnacle to everything, and I know people don't like to talk about it, but it's just the truth, is the Daniel Jones contract. Because people talk about how Daniel Jones looks in Indianapolis right now. But what people don't understand is Daniel Jones is getting paid what, like $10 million?
Yeah.
Right now we paid him quadruple that. What are we?
Yeah,
what
we gave him over $100 million in 6 years.
So it's like what type of team can you actually build around that? So it's honestly just been and I remember you guys were talking earlier about like, oh well, why are Giant fans like not that why don't they listen? And I really believe it's like it's false hope, because listen, I remember when we were explaining to people that Daniel Jones wasn't worth 100 the money that we paid him, and everyone was saying no, we're bugging, we're negative, we're this, we're that, and he went out there and shitted the bed. And it's like, you let Saquon walk. You didn't even try to trade him. You let Saquon and Xavier McKinney walk for nothing. It's like
Julian Love too.
Julian, you know what I'm saying?
Evan Ingram.
Like,
Julian Love's only made 2 Pro Bowls in Seattle. Evan Ingram made an actual Pro Bowl, 2 Pro Bowls, I believe, in Jacksonville as well. Actual Pro Bowl.
But why can't we develop talent?
We have to draft good talent first in order to develop it.
But other teams, like say like Daniel Jones, he's having an albatross year this year. I can't believe it, but he's having a great year. Like he went to Kevin McConnell, learned how to be a quarterback.
Well, before we throw too many flowers at Daniel Jones, what happened in Pittsburgh when Jonathan Taylor only ran for 45 yards?
Exactly. He's still the same quarterback.
He's still the same quarterback. He just has a week. He just played the Titans twice and some other. I mean, at one point in time, I think he had played in first 5 or 6 games. I think he had played teams that only had like 3 wins in the first 6 games.
The Colts had like the 26th or 27th easiest schedule, and they're playing a 4th place schedule.
Oh, wait. We got to bring in Mr. Sanders here. We got. Oh, you were there and you were gone. There you go. You got no what? Say something.
Coming back.
There you go. What's up?
Hey!
What are you doing? I've been dropping this link in the chat like crazy to get everyone to come on, just because I want to get everyone's thought process. And I think the process. I think the big that we've been talking about. How did we get?
I think we got here on purpose.
Okay.
There's no other way to explain it.
I need more than that. Someone's getting feedback here.
Oh, hang on. It might be me.
Let's see now.
Okay, is that any better?
Testing 1 2. No, we're still getting. I love to hear me.
Hang on, give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second.
Take your time. It's only a lot of time.
Well, Tim, as much as I'd like to stay on and continue to talk, unfortunately, I do have to step away. So. Thank you for bringing me on.
All right, OG.
I gotta go eat.
I will talk to you later. I'm gonna drop OG on. I'm gonna bring Greg back in. Mr. Sanders is figuring out his technical problem.
Technical difficulties here, sir.
He still got tech. Do you want to try calling back in?
Yeah, let me try that.
All right, let's move him backstage. And I'm sitting here with the fun bunch. I'm gonna call you guys the fun bunch, because both of you have been so apropos about this. I would like to mention right now, on that network, that social media giant that starts with 1 letter, we're kicking Mike Francesa's ass and the number of people that are watching. So just gonna throw that out there. We've kind of defined, guys, how we've got here. Not really defined it, but the bigger question, and I want to ask both of you guys, is how do we get out of here? And I don't care who goes first, but I'm gonna start with Greg, because Greg, you're staying up late.
Yeah.
First
of all, you have
how do we get out of here? How do we get out of the doldrums? How do we get out of the woods? Is it the fact that we need? I mean, the Jets literally traded their two best defensive players. Do we have to just completely, and we've never done it really in the last 14 years, completely just tear this shit to ground zero?
again, Tim, we can't do it again. We tried that.
We really
we're doing
haven't. With Eli Manning at the end, we made trades, we made draft decisions on the thought process of running him out there a few more times to try to get another championship. With Daniel Jones, all we ever did was we tried to build the offensive line around him. We tried to find him. That was the weapons. My wife hates that phrase, weapons, because we need to get weapons for Daniel Jones. We made stupid trades. We made Kadarius Toney, Wando Robinson, Darius Slayton, smooth sounds of Kenny G, Daniel Bellinger, I think I said Wando Robinson already, Paris Campbell, Darren Waller, Nate Solder, McKeithen, Azudu. We went out and Will Hernandez. We went out and tried to do this, but we never just did what the Jets did and just say, you know what, screw it. We're going to rip it down to ground zero, have 5 first rounders in the next 2 years, and build it the right way from the ground up. And to what Mr. Bruce was saying, cultivate talent.
Yeah, and that's one of our biggest things. We don't cultivate talent. They go other places and they succeed and they prosper. Like you said, I think you answered the question. First of all, we have to get rid of Dable and we have to get rid of Shane. I think Shane's more of the problem than Dable. Yeah, Shane is horrible mismanagement with the cap. He can't draft. He can't do anything right. I don't know how he's the GM. He's been here 5 years, hasn't fixed offensive line. It's still a problem. And that was your main task of coming here, fixing the O-line, right? And it's still a problem.
It's still an issue. Well, the O-line's actually been better this year. I got to hold that thought, though, because I got to see this guy, because I've been dropping this link in here like a mother. James Stein.
Hey, dumb.
Coming in hot. You're always in the chat. You're always dropping knowledge. What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I do good every day.
I'm sorry to see that you'll be leaving. You were one of the guys who I truly enjoyed listening to about the Giants. And as far as this team getting out of the darkness, as you say, I think the only way you're going to get out is if Mara sells the team, or the people that have ownership stakes in the team push them out. Because I don't see anything changing so long as Mara has control of this team.
I agree. Let's see if we can drop Mr. Sanders in, because he's doing his hair. I saw you moving the hair. I saw you like going on it. I got to get on here. You know what? We had the fly.
Get camera ready. Is the audio better?
I don't hear any feedback. So does anyone hear any feedback? I'm not hearing any this time.
But Tim, I got
very good.
What's up, Mr. Bruce?
So you said, one of the possible things to do is to tear down the organization and do what the Jets trying to do. But don't you think that would,
like you said, Tim, I think we should burn it to the ground. To be honest, I'm sorry to say that. It'd be another 3 years of suffering. Just burn it to the ground.
But hold on, let's let Mr. Jabbar to get his full thought out here.
So let's say we were to do that, would that buy more time for Dable and Shane? Because now you can say, oh, well, we have Jackson Dart and he doesn't have any weapons, so now we have to build around him.
Oh, no. When I say tear it down, I'm saying you take all the dynamite, all the C4, all the M2 plastique, put it all together with some Primacord, wrap it up nice and tight. Anyone in the military knows what I'm talking about. And then blow this shit to the fucking moon and make sure that Shane and Dable are sitting on top of it. No. I mean, everyone's gone. I mean, the kid that brings the fucking coffee, he's fine. I don't want him. Thank you. I want them all. I don't want any. I've been in that building. I've been in their corporate headquarters. I've been there. There's a very nice lady up front. I want her fired. I want her gone. There's a guy that makes smoothies there in the cafeteria that makes a great smoothie. Gone. I want him out because there is someone in that building that has some type of bad juju that is screwing all this up. That I literally, you know what I would do if I could? They should literally just demolish the building and build another one.
But where would the get go?
Who cares?
My question is, how come John Marr gets all of the brunt, but Steve Tisch is a part of this too, and his family is also in the building. So how come he doesn't get any responsibility?
Because
he's a part of this too.
When they sold the team, when they sold half the team, the deal was that Tisch would handle all the business operations for the football team, and the Maras. This is contractually obligated that the Maras would then be in charge of all football operations. So when they made that deal, they didn't want the Maras did not want to lose control of Wellington's baby there, so to say. So they maintained complete football operational control. And I know there's something in the contract where Mara can step in, and now where Tisch can step in. But there's that division right now. That's why I'm wondering when they sold the 10%, if it was 5-5, because I also can't see Tisch turn around and say, no, I don't want to have any control over the organization, have Mara run everything.
Because at this point, honestly, I mean, we're well past him needing to step in. They should have stepped in last season. I think I called 5 to 6 wins this season. I don't even think we're going to get there. So if they don't bring in somebody for football operations, we're going nowhere.
But
I have one question.
Sure, Mr.
Okay. The question I got here is, how come can't Tisch come in and say, look, this is hurting the business end, so I got to step in and fix it? I mean, couldn't that happen?
Here is the caveat. You actually nailed it. Tisch last year basically said, or 2 years ago, which was 2 years now, that at some point in time he may have to step in with football operations when it starts harming the business end.
The business.
He said that 2 years ago, but he hasn't done anything since. But to your point, James, yeah, I think Tisch could step in and not take over, but help make football operational decisions. And then I wonder if Mara with the cancer, if he needs to step away, what's going to happen if there's not going to be an internal power struggle, because I don't see Chris Mara, who does this shit with the horses and everything else. I don't see him being the president of football operations or being in charge of anything. Like I said, I've said it a million times before, guys, on this show. I don't know how many times, and I'm going to keep saying it. You need a president of football operations. You need a guy that's going to come in, fire everyone, hire the general manager, have the general manager work in conjunction with the president of football operations, then both agree on a head coach, and then work as a continuum to go out and then draft, free agency, everything. You need a smart football mind to come in and just be in charge of everything. And then kind of like I said, you kind of see what the Knicks did with Phil Jackson. It didn't work with Phil Jackson, but James Dolan turned over the franchise to Jackson, and then he ran it into the ground. But then, Leon Rose came in and right the ship. And you don't hear anything about James Dolan except when he's throwing players, ex-players off the court. But he's not involved in basketball operations anymore. That's what the Giants need to do. Wellington Mara knew back in the 70s, after the miracle of the Meadowlands, I have to step away, and I'm going to bring in George Young. He is the president of football operations. He's going to run the shebang, and I'm going to sit there in the stands and watch my team win Super Bowls.
Okay, the next thing I want to say on that is, the next thing I want to say on this is, if I'm Tisch, I do step in, because Maris hasn't gotten it right for a long time. And right now, The business end is going to start to slip when you don't have fans come sit in the seats, when your merchandise don't sell. I mean, the business side is going to start to it's going to start hurting a lot if this continues.
I hope that it's going to go a different direction. Someone in the comments says it's kind of like John Lynch with the 49ers. Yeah, I don't want. I mean, if you wanted to bring Belichick back,
Right. That's what I was going to say. Belichick.
I would bring Belichick in as president. I would not bring him in as the head coach. I think the time has passed and with players, but I would bring him in as president of football operations.
Right.
Right.
And now the president of operations, would they
It's like,
then
what do we
pick
do here? I don't want a
the
super
GM?
old legacy coach, and I don't want an inexperienced coach or GM. So what do we do? What do we pick from?
Well, I'm going to answer both questions because Mr. Sanders had a good question. Yes, the president of football operations, like they did with the 49ers, would come in, and that would be his job to pick the head coach. Now, the problem is this: you are going to have to find a head coach, and some of the guys like Mike McCarthy, some of the guys out there that are named coaches are probably not going to want to work in conjunction with somebody else because they, like Mike McCarthy, going back to Green Bay and Dallas, likes to have control. But we have been so screwed up. We need someone to come in that has the respect. And I've liked the Belichick idea as football operations because he has the respect, he has the cachet that he can pick a coach and say, "Hey, listen," not one of his mentors, no one off the poisonous 49er, excuse me, the poisonous tree that are known as the Patriots tree. Yeah, none of those motherfuckers. But I want somebody that can come in, has the cachet, that you bring in a coach and the coach respects the process with the director of football, the president of football operations, and then they work together, pick the head coach, and then run the team with the general manager and everyone else, and kind of just make a decision. Get away from like what they do in Dallas. Just do like they do with the 49ers. Do like they do over in Philadelphia. Just do it for a crazy idea. Try doing something the right way. And to Greg, I think to Greg's point, you're going to need to find someone that comes in that is going to, I don't want a first-time head coach. I don't want to retread. If you took someone out of college that has the right experience, not Lane Kiffin, because Lane Kiffin's kind of been a marauder, and that situation that happened in Oakland, people forget about. But you need to find someone that can fit the mold. And the biggest problem I have is you may need to find someone that's just going to say, "I can work with Jackson Dart."
So Tim's basically saying that he's about to put in his application soon.
I'm going to have free time.
So
I've already listen. I have 4 years experience in the NFL, and I have another 4 in the AFL. So yeah, I could be a general manager. Why not? I could be president of football.
Experience than Dable.
Be a talent scout.
There you go. Why not? I've always jokingly said there was no way I could do that type of job. But then you watch Joe Schoen do it and watch his son be better at it. And I was thinking to myself, I could fuck up just like he does. I could do it just as bad of a job.
But Tim, but do you think there's any way we keep Shane, or if you had to make a choice, would you pick Dable or Shane? Who is better at their job?
I would pick being a Packers fan.
I agree. I heard Deion's coming to the Browns next year, so I'll become a Browns fan. But
that is like saying, would you rather get shot in the leg or shot in the foot?
I was telling my friend like
that is literally. I mean, that's. I don't know.
It's like being a Jets fan.
It's literally.
Actually, at this point, you got to give it to Dable because he picked Jackson Dart over Shane. So even Shane didn't mess that up.
I see a Nick Saban comment. What about Nick Saban? Here's the funny thing. I got fired, but I didn't get fired by John Gruden, but I got fired by the organization for Gruden. And I actually was in Miami when Saban was there. I was there for Saban's last year, so I don't have a good track record with certain head coaches. So I can't say anything because my stint in the NFL was a losing record. But no Nick Saban. Nick Saban's not. Nick Saban would be like when Steve Spurrier left Florida for the Redskins. It's just not going to work.
Or Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer's another great example. So I mean,
yeah,
I think the only coach that can resurrect the Giants, albeit he has a lawsuit with the Giants, is Brian Flores.
Oh yeah. I think before we do, I got a comment on Flores, but let's go around the room real quick. We're going to start with Mr. Bruce on the top. Who would be your new head coach of the Giants?
I really don't know.
It's because you're a Nets fan.
Yeah,
I thought for a minute that was a Kenny Anderson shirt.
No, it's a KD jersey.
Okay.
You know, right there. But yeah, I honestly don't know. I got to be honest with you. All
right, Greg, who was your new head coach of the Giants?
If you want to fill the seats, I would bring in Deion. If you
Ooh.
want to,
that would be a fucking nightmare.
Why would it be a nightmare? Every free agent would fluctuate to our team.
Yeah, but have you seen the circus that Deion's created in Colorado?
It's not a circus. It's other factors in that. Let's don't get it wrong.
Yeah,
but I would bring in Brian Flores. I think he did magic with I forgot the coach's name of Miami, but he basically inherited that team from him, and they were winning. They had success. Brian Flores is a great coach. Look at the defense, what he's doing now as defensive coordinator. Brian Flores would do wonders for the Giants, I think. I think he would bring that old passion with the Giants back defensively.
Brian Flores is last year in Miami. And I love Brian Flores. That was my first choice as head coach of the Giants before they brought in this idiot. Brian Flores is last year in Miami. Miami literally traded the entire team. It was like, we're just going to get rid. They were meant for failure. They were looking to accentuate their draft pick that next year. And Brian Flores fucked them all and said, you know what? I'm going to win with nobody. And that's what he did, and still got himself fired.
But then again, Tim, is it really the coach, or is it the fucking bad GM we have who can't draft, can't sign free agents, gives away free?
Our coach is bad. Hold on, James Stein, what are you saying? Who's your head coach of the New York Football Giants?
Right now, I don't have a choice right now because I'm not sure who's available right now.
Well, it doesn't matter who's available. I want Matt LaFleur. He's still in Green Bay.
In Green Bay.
Well, then I would say go with Tomlin from Pittsburgh.
Oh, there you go.
He had a guy in the Pittsburgh in the playoffs. The Pittsburgh hasn't had a losing record for over 20 years, I think it is.
Well, him
or Bill Collins.
Tomlin has never had a losing record in Pittsburgh and has made the playoffs every season in Pittsburgh. Actually, when I was in Tampa, he actually was the defensive back coach. Mike Tomlin was. I'm not going to say we thought he was going to be successful, but he was. I know for a fact that he was a motivational coach, just in regards to the way that he ran that defensive back room for the for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mr. Sanders, you've heard the name bandied about.
You guys already know my pick. Yeah, I've been banging the drums for Gruden. I think Gruden will make a great coach. I'm sorry, Tim, but I think I've been calling for Gruden as head coach, Antonio Pierce as defensive coordinator. Not sure about GM yet.
I don't have a problem with Gruden because I've already told everyone that if Gruden comes here, I'm going to go try to get a job. I have no problem with Gruden. I do have a problem with.
You got time, Tim.
I do have time. That's a good point. I do have a problem with the fact that Gruden's last tenure in Oakland and then Vegas was not great. And there was so much besides the email scandal, and I don't even count that as a scandal because of the fact that if anyone's been in an NFL locker room, if anyone's been around or near any type of sports in the early 2000s, even now, that type of crass language and everything else is kind of it's just kind of there. But Gruden, outside of the 8-8 season in 2020, he really didn't show much progress in Vegas. I mean, he was 8-8 and 3-2 before he got fired. So, I mean, I'm not saying the game has passed him by, but I also think he's more of an analyst now. And I don't know why would you, from what you're doing, why would you want to leave doing that to come to this type of organization?
Yeah, but you got to think about it, Tim. 8 wins.
President of football operations.
I would do football operations for Gruden.
That'd be perfect. Yeah, I would do Belichick for that.
Well, like I said, if Belichick is still in North Carolina and with his girlfriend,
he'll be gone. He's out of there.
Trying to be nice.
Yeah, he's out of there. We all know that.
Before I leave, trying to be nice. I keep thinking about
the professional Tim.
I keep FanDuel.com, and don't forget ZipRecruiter. Deion is a motivational speaker. He teaches fundamentals, doesn't game plan, bad clock management. Deion is all about flash, not substance.
No, that's not true. Let me answer this, Tim.
Go ahead. Bruce is just laughing up there.
Because I am a Deion lover, man. Deion, I'm a Florida State guy, so I love Deion. And if someone's doing bad, I can say they're doing bad. There's other factors why people don't like Deion. Everyone knows that. Most smart people know that. If you're not a biased person, but Deion has a talented offensive coordinator.
I'm starting to think that Deion Sanders is black.
Yeah, of course.
I don't remember.
He may be with white head coach of Colorado, Tim.
Type of person.
There you go.
Being the face of the NFL could show other people to be the same way. And why would you hate Deion? He's a good Christian, a good man, motivates players, and he would bring. Could you imagine all the free agents would like gravitate towards the Giants if he were the coach or any team that he goes on? He just has a kind of renaissance. Deion would fill the seats. Could you imagine Deion Sanders? There wouldn't be a ticket left in MetLife.
I will say this about Deion, and as a Florida State fan, Greg, you know the story. When Deion came out of college, and this is the only thing that the Giants may still remember, especially if you have Mara around. He came out of college. The Giants used to have this book almost that they had prospects fill out. It was like a 30-page questionnaire. And for people that don't know the story, I'll tell. They used to make any prospect they thought they could potentially draft had to fill this out before the Giants would even set up an interview with them. They gave it to Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders looked at the Giants, threw it back at him, and said, I ain't going to be around when you're picking anyway.
Exactly. But Deion,
that was Deion back in the day. I still remember.
Yeah, Deion's probably the top 2 of top athletes in the NFL will ever seen in probably my lifetime. I've saw in my lifetime. But Deion as a coach in the NFL, I don't know. Like Deion, he does. What I like about Deion? He plays the coach position. He doesn't try to be offensive coordinator. He doesn't try to be a defensive coordinator. He coaches a team and motivates, and that's what a coach should do.
Here's the thing, and I want to get everyone's opinion on this because I'm thinking about the Deion thing, and it's less crazy. I'm not calling you crazy, Greg, but it's less crazy than it sounds. Because to your point, Greg, and we've heard this before, and I've heard this before in the league, a good head coach should be the CEO of the team. They should oversee everything. And like a regular organization, you have the chief financial officer, you have the chief IT officer, you have the chief, HR officer. They let them do their jobs, and they come to the CEO when there's problems, when there's issues, and he oversees everything. Or she, because a woman can be a CEO. People think I'm sexist because I said there was a giant YouTuber out there that the ChatGPT commenter, and then she just happens to be a woman. Not looking at you, fangirl. But I'm just saying it would make sense. The best thing is I can say this stuff and not even and just keep a straight face all day long. But does make sense to have a guy with a personality that can rally the players, get the players to rally behind him, but still allow his coaching staff to do the jobs that they need to do. And I'm going to start with Mr. Bruce. Could Deion come in here in the media spotlight of New York and do something such as that?
Like, yes, could he? I do think he can. Am I going to bank on it? No. And the only reason why I'm going to say I'm not going to bank, I wouldn't bank on it, is solely because of like even his person. Like, I don't know how he would do in that locker room around people who are, and in college you're dealing with college kids. Now you're dealing with grown men with higher salaries. They got their own mentalities. I don't think Deion would do well with because I feel like even the ego. Because listen, I wanted Shedeur Sanders when the draft was happening, but then afterwards, and then when I saw him dropping, I'm like, that's weird. That's stupid. Why is he dropping so much? But then when it came out that he only interviewed with like 5 teams, then I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. So it's like I understand he can do it. Am I going? Would I bank on that? I don't know, because Deion definitely does have that kind of that bit of an ego pride, and he had it while he was prime time, because he's prime time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know who he is, but his personality, I don't know if it would mesh. Me personally, just my personal opinion.
Here's my thing about Deion, though, and you were talking about the players and relating. Deion probably has more money than any Giant that's being paid now. So it's almost like the fact that you can't sit there and worry about what a $12 million quarterback's going to say when this quarterback already knows that Deion's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So there's always that disconnect, and Deion has the cachet as being a player. But I don't think Deion would come because, first of all, I don't think Deion would come because he hates New York he said he hates New York, going back to the Yankee experience. Right. So I don't think he would come. But Mr. Sanders, is Deion as the CEO a crazy idea?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
I think that
anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I can't see Deion here, especially not after we didn't draft Shedeur. Yeah. If we would have drafted Shedeur, it would have made sense. I can't see him not picking his son and coaching Dart. That would be really weird. And I also think that he would resonate more with college kids than adults.
And honestly, right now, outside of his son being in Colorado, he's 3-6. So he's not putting up the same numbers without having a Sanders prodigy on the team right now. James Stein, you were dropped out, but Deion Sanders, could he come in here and not be the whole philosophy, but just be the CEO type head coach for the New York Football Giants?
I think whatever role you could put him in to be effective would be a good place for him. But I think he brings a lot of baggage with him, and a lot of people just don't want him. However, back when we were in the process of the draft process, I thought we should have drafted Shedeur Sanders because I felt Shedeur Sanders was the better quarterback between Dart and him.
I selfishly wanted him too.
I like
I don't know why.
Was raising their hand. I was like, I like this. This is people are polite. I get to be the asshole.
You're professional, Tim.
Like, this is great. And I keep putting the link in the chat. If anyone else wants to jump on, you're more than welcome to. Because I want to hear everyone's opinion, because I really want to know, as a season ticket holder since '76, and as someone that has spent his entire childhood and adult life growing up in when it was the Meadowlands, and like I said, I lived through the Andy Robustelli eras. I lived through the bad eras. I lived through Ray Perkins, who took us to the playoffs in '81. I lived through the Handley. I lived through all this garbage. But I just can't. I just trying to fathom how we can't get out of our own way to somehow be successful. Mr. Bruce, excuse me. I'm going to go with Mr. Bruce, who raised his hand first. There you go.
So let me ask you another question. So, Tim, you're the GM of the Giants right now. You said you want to burn this shit to the ground.
Yep.
What does that look like? Does that mean that you let Kayvon walk? Do you? Yep. Okay. Do you let?
Oh, I'm not gonna. No, that would be mean. I'm not gonna let him walk. I'm gonna drive him. Wherever I trade him to, I'm gonna give him a ride.
So, okay. What do you do with Jackson Dart? Do you keep him?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not sold on Jackson Dart yet.
If he can throw more than 10 yards,
if he threw more than 10 yards, I might be sold on him. But Jackson Dart right now, and people are hating me for this, but it's honest. He is a scripted quarterback.
Right.
He always scores on the first drive because that's a scripted drive. And then when he goes off script, like last week and against the Broncos and a few other teams, he goes off the script. Like last week, he only had 90 yards total passing going into 8 minutes into the fourth quarter, and then he got all of his garbage yards. It was the same thing against the Chargers.
Drops.
And every team has drops. I can't say every team has drops. It's a Charger game. He threw for 111 yards. 38 of them came on the first drive. And I had to hear how this was an amazing debut. Same with the Eagle game. His yards only came at the end of the game. It's the second Eagle game, I should say. It only came at the end of the game. It's not like he had this progression where he got better. It's almost like you go off as soon as they go off script. And I don't know if it's Jackson Dart. I don't know if it's the coaching staff. It's like they don't know what to do with them. And the fact that Vic Fangio figured out, and which I said even before Vic even did it, you want to stop Jackson Dart, control him in the pocket, don't let him scramble outside the pocket and make him throw either to the middle of the field or to the left, and just limit his ability to make big plays with his legs. Because when he's an NFL quarterback, he's throwing the ball between -8 and 9 yards. And we've brought up multiple charts that show how, exactly how and where this kid throws. He throws within the first 10 yards. And then when he goes outside of 10 yards, his passing percentage drops to like 40%. And what we've noticed is as the game goes along, like we saw at Ole Miss, his pass completion percentage. Oops, actually, that's you, Mr. Sanders. He's Mr. Sanders.
Sorry, I'm busy.
That's okay. You're busy.
Actually, guys, I'm gonna jump off, Tim. I just wanted to jump on. This is my first time ever getting on the stream, so I wanted to say thank you for that.
I was glad to have
Thank
you
you,
on.
everybody.
All right, we appreciate you coming on. But his completion percentage has dropped in the fourth quarter, even going back to Ole Miss. So I can't tell you if he's my quarterback yet. I need an offensive coordinator to let the kid throw the ball. Last week, we've said it before, he threw 33 passes, 25 of them were thrown from -2 to 8 yards. So he's thrown the ball 25 times, just 10 yards within that 10-yard range. And then when he threw over that, he was 3 for 10. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, not 3 for 10. He was 3 for 8, whatever it was. I don't know. I don't know if he's my quarterback yet. But like I said, I would have did what the Jets did. Get 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. I would clear my cap. I would do what Joe Shane said that he wanted to do, build from the draft, augment through free agency, and cultivate my own talent. I would have to find somebody that had an aptitude and an ability to draft and to evaluate talent, because I don't think we have that still. And I would take away this talent that is redundant, such as Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. Move on from at least one of them. I would move on from Dexter Lawrence because he's going to be on the wrong side of 30 when we start getting good again. And he's still in that $90 million contract. I would keep the continuity with Andrew Thomas on the offensive line. I would try to make sure Neighbors got healthy and got a running mate. And then I would literally probably have to redraft the running back position this year because of the fact that I'm not going to be able to rely on Cam Scatterbo because of the actual extent of his injury. It's like Paulson Adebo. I told people over and over again, he broke his fibula. He didn't fracture it. It wasn't a hairline fracture. It wasn't a stress. No, the dude broke it. He Joe Theismanned it, which is one of the most difficult injury. A clean break is a difficult injury to come back from because you don't know how the bone's going to heal and you don't know what your ability is going to be once you come back. So not only did he completely snap his ankle, but he also tore the ligaments, and I forget what the other injury he had. So it's going to be different, and I already know I can't rely on Tyrone Tracy because I've seen it. So I need a bell cow back. I have an offensive line. It's getting older, but I have a line that's good enough to protect my quarterback. If I think I have a quarterback, I'm good. I have Neighbors. I think I'd go out in free agency, try to find a tight end. I would try to there's enough wide receivers in this draft coming up. There's enough running backs. I would do something that Giants never do anymore, and it's a shock. And I'm going to say it softly so the rest of the league doesn't hear it. I would get a linebacker.
For Christ's fucking sake.
Those guys that stand behind the defensive line that are not in the defensive backfield, I'd get like 3 of those.
Yeah.
Because maybe they come in a set. I don't know. Maybe it's like dishes. I'd get a linebacker.
What about Brian Burns?
What about Brian Burns? But at least Brian Burns is playing well. And I give a lot of shit to Brian Burns. But this year even when he had his big year in Carolina, he still disappeared for periods of time. He hasn't done that this year. He's actually played with consistency and passion. And I have no qualms with Brian Burns. I have qualms with Kayvon Thibodeau and the bust up that we've referred to as Abdul Carter. But I have no qualm with Brian. But I got to get to the super chat. Please, rewind, because super chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. Why didn't they trade Kayvon to New England, who was clearly interested and could have gotten a second-round pick and a player beyond me?
Is that true?
Yeah, they could. Yeah. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Before the Parsons trade, I would have traded him to Green Bay, and I would have gotten Quay Walker and Robion Dobbs. I know they're both on expiring contracts next year, and they're both going to be free agents, but you could have got a second wide receiver and a linebacker who actually could, I don't know, it's one of those weird things, tackle inside the tackle box outside the line of scrimmage. one of those crazy things. But that's what I would do. And just for sake, I would put televisions in the bathroom stalls. I'm burning down the building. I would put televisions in all the bathroom stalls in the men's room. Because sometimes you like to watch TV. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, I gotta bring the philosopher back in because evidently hopefully he's in a better spot.
Can you hear me?
Where are you driving to?
I'm driving back to my place from the middle of nowhere. It's a long story.
It's a long story or it's a long drive?
Both.
All right, I have a question. I got a question for you. We asked this question. Deion Sanders, head coach of the Giants, but not like a meddling head coach, but more like a CEO level head coach.
Nah, man. After I saw what happened to them against Utah, I'm good. Sorry. Okay. I like Deion too.
No, we're good. We were just trying to figure out. You weren't here for this, but who would be your next head coach of the New York Football Giants?
You know what? This is going to surprise some people maybe, but I go conservative, but somewhat successful. Mike McCarthy, probably.
I don't have a problem with McCarthy, but I think McCarthy's going to want control.
Shit, I mean, better than him than the people that have control now. Shit.
But what did McCarthy do in Dallas? He did have 3 seasons in a row when he was 12-4. But I mean, is that enough? Because he hasn't won anything since Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the Cowboys' issue is it's Jerry. Jerry
Is
Jones always been the problem.
Is
It wasn't Mike.
Is Jerry Jones. Yeah. We got Billy in here saying we definitely need 3 linebackers and a number 1 corner and a safety who can tackle. I got a crazy idea. How about a safety that can cover?
Right.
How about that nutty idea?
That'd
How
be
about
nice.
a safety that can run? I kept trying to
You know,
explain
it's funny. You mentioned
about Tyler.
Tim.
Newby.
You
I tried
mentioned
to
the O line was looking good, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the only O lineman that we have under I think we have 2 O linemen under contract next year, maybe 3. John Michael Schmitz. What's our left tackle's name? Andrew Thomas and
you have Runyon.
Marcus Bowe.
No, you've got about John Runyon. John Runyon's on a 2-year deal.
Oh yeah, John.
He's on a 2-year. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so we don't even really have any O linemen.
All right, Mr. Buzzkill.
Kind of scary. Hey man, I gotta keep it real. This is the truth channel, right?
That is, but sometimes I like to be lied to. Sometimes I want to be lied to. You know.
So we really
I
could
like
have gotten
Kool-Aid too.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid today.
We really couldn't have gotten nothing for Evan Neal. Like we couldn't get a trade for him.
There was a scene in the movie Moneyball where they make a trade, and part of the trade was for the other team, to fill the soda machine for a year in Oakland. I would have taken Coke Zero for Evan Neal.
Sucks. You already know he's gonna get traded, or he's gonna sign with a different team.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
Kayvon Thibodeau, he's gonna sign with a different team.
Well, Kayvon,
nothing for a first-round pick.
We picked up the 5th year on Kayvon. So hold on, who's Isaiah Jackson? Who is Mr. Jackson? We got to bring in Mr. Jackson here. We are just running into people today that need to come on and tell us something good. Mr. Jackson, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, so I have a question. Do you think it's realistic with everything going on with Mr. Mara this offseason that we fired Joe Shane and Brian Daboll?
You know what's funny? Before the cancer announcement, I would have said yes. It is realistic that both of these motherfuckers are going to be gone. That both of these guys are going to be out of the building. That I could come there with the brown boxes and help them packs and get them out of the office. But I am concerned that there is no rumblings out of any upper management within these giant organizations that is saying, "Hey, listen, you know, we have to." You're not hearing anything from the ownership saying we have to do better. You know, we have to be better. No, you're not hearing anything. I am concerned that even with the minimal success that Jackson Dart could potentially have for the rest of the season, that buys them year 5. And they're like, well, you know what? We had to start the rookie. You know, we had to see what we had. So I'm actually concerned. I've said it before. I'm concerned that these idiots are going to come back.
Not
I mean, that's not what you wanted to hear. Because I think both of them, we should go get a clown cannon from the circus and shoot them both over into Camden. But I have this feeling that if they're not going to keep one, that if they get rid of them, they're going to get rid of both. But I also think if they decide to keep, they're not just going to keep one, they're going to keep both. Unless Dable has a Joe Judge-esque meltdown.
I think Dable has had a couple Joe Judge, I say he's had personality meltdowns on the sidelines. Like he's not fit to be a head coach the way he reacts to a lot of things that the players and things happen on the field.
Oh, I agree. I think that he has had some moments, even going back to throwing the iPad at Daniel Jones, which I thought was great, except he didn't hit him in the head with it. But I think he has had those moments and he's done things that just don't make sense. But at no point in time, though, has ownership really come out and condemned his behavior, except for that first season when they said that he needed to calm himself down. But they've not come out and said, hey, listen, you know, Brian Dable is an issue. So I don't know I don't know.
But Tim, what if say if you were Joe Shane or Brian Dable, and this was your exit interview, what could you say to help you keep your job?
Nothing.
We need to get
Well, if honestly, okay, if you want me to give you an honest answer,
Yeah.
am I Joe Shane or am I Brian Dable?
Yeah, Joe Shane.
I'm Joe Shane. Listen, Mr. Mayor, I just need to tell you, as you can see, we have produced some talent, but we've also been hit by that venerable injury bug that's always around the NFL. But as you can see, our talent has grown. We have found some diamonds in the rough. We have the foundational pieces that we need, starting with the with the quarterback, with the wide receiver. We have Theo Johnson, who is going to be that next venerable tight end. We have a defense that is going to be solidified with another year of Dexter Lawrence. Abdul Carter is going to find his way. I got a nice deal situated already for Kayvon Thibodeau that it's only an 11-year guaranteed deal that if he does not produce up to expectations, we can definitely move that contract. We just need to find more core pieces on defense because we don't have a problem on offense, even though we don't have an offensive line, we don't have a running game, but we don't have the problem on offense. The problem is just defensively, we need to find more playmakers in that secondary. We need to find the continuity that we have been lacking for the last few years, but the pieces are in place. Our salary cap this year in 2026 is going to be the first time that we have not had numerous amounts of dead cap space, which could still happen. But we don't have that cap space issue anymore. So we will be a serious player in free agency. We are going to take a free agency perspective of not going out there and overspending, but finding the right talent that we can then have for this organization. We're going to show you the rest of the way, and that's what I'm going to tell you, because that's exactly what we can do with the Giants. You need to trust me one more time because we are ready to turn the corner.
You're fired.
And then I would say, fuck you, old man. I'm out of here.
But Mr. Shane, you let Saquon Barkley run for 2,000 yards?
No, I did not let Saquon Barkley run for 2,000 yards. You know what? Who did? The league did. And you know what? Saquon Barkley would not have the same production or value that he would have had on this team than he did in Philadelphia. If anything, I had taken away that venerable moment of Saquon Barkley, that unknown, and allowed it to now be away from the franchise so we can focus on Jackson Dart. We could focus on Malik Neighbors. We could focus on building this organization and not have the Saquon Barkley umbrella hanging over us, as we know that he says that he wants to be here, but his actions have shown that he didn't.
Why did you give Daniel Jones a 3-year contract?
Because I'm stupid.
4-year contract.
4-year deal. At the time, with the best information available, we gave him a 4-year, $160 million contract. But as you know, I was smart enough to build the out after that second season, so we knew the value of the contract would be undervalued by the time that if he was good in 3 years, we would have a bargain on our hands. It just, as the NFL, as you know, Mr. Mara, as being the owner and such a wonderful, owner that you are, there are no guarantees in the NFL.
But I'm embarrassed. The Colts are the best team in the league right now. Xavier McKinney's over there getting Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, thank you. That hurt more than Saquon letting Xavier McKinney go.
Listen, I got an Xavier McKinney Green Bay Packer jersey, so actually, you know where my thoughts are. In reference to McKinney, we had to move on because of the fact that when you are going to give a contract to a safety that is going to make that much money, we had to be sure that it was going to be a safety who was going to be a direct impact. And we believe we had young talent available in front of McKinney. And also knowing the fact that we were probably going to move and take Tyler Nubin, who may be having his issues right now, like running straight and catching people. But we believe that Tyler Nubin was going to be a Xavier McKinney replacement. And as you know, Mr. Mara, a safety, a defensive lineman, we can usually find later in the draft, which we did with Tyler Nubin and Drew Phillips.
Okay, Mr. Shane. So we're acknowledging that a lot of the moves that you have made in terms of Saquon, in terms of McKinney, in terms of a lot of players, it's because of the salary cap, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So if that's the case, don't you think that us paying Daniel Jones $160 million might have affected the salary cap to the point where now we can't build that team around Saquon? Now we can't build that team around Xavier McKinney and get that pass rusher and get all those players that we need?
The first year of the Daniel Jones contract, his cap hit was only $22 million, which would have been $23 million under the average star quarterback in the NFL, which allowed us the ability and the flexibility with his contract to have and sign additional players. We offered Saquon Barkley what we felt was a fair contract value for the league and also for a 27-year-old running back who has been coming off 2 seasons marred by injuries, 1 a serious injury. We even went back and augmented the deal for Saquon Barkley. Now, while the guaranteed money might not have been there, it was more of a fair market value for him. And we actually still, as you know, used the, we tagged him, which allowed us to keep him an additional year. In hindsight, should we have potentially moved on from him that year? Yes, but we also were trying to give an opportunity to this fan base to get wins.
Okay, so what did you see from Daniel Jones that you said that was a fair contract to give him 4 years, $160 million?
Well, technically, it was only 2 years, $90 million, because of the fact that we had the out. So we built in the opportunity to move away from him with limited cap damage if that came to fruition, which is did. But you have to remember, it allowed me to trade back up into the first round and grab Jackson Dart.
You should be a fucking lawyer, Tim.
Yeah, goddamn.
It's called what the Giants do not have. It's called media training.
Mm.
Like I said, if I was Dexter Lawrence, I would have taken that a whole different direction. I would not have gone that way. People would have loved me if I was. I got to get to the super chat though, because of the fact that I'm also gonna feel like I'm going to get nauseous because I was Joe Shane. For the kiddo, that's always for the Philadelphia Children's Hospital, but I hate to say it, but Scat is pretty much done after that injury. As far as a coach, I'd give Gruden a call, or maybe the coach from the Indiana Hoosiers.
I thought I said the Indiana Hooters for a second.
I thought so too. I don't want a college coach. I don't want a guy that's college oriented. I just don't.
Not a college coach with NFL experience.
A college coach with NFL experience. Here's my problem with that.
There's a reason why you're in college.
Thank you. There we go. Thank you for fucking up because I was doing a cesura with my dramatic pause. But yes, that's the problem I have. But thank you again. Thank you, Philadelphia Children's Hospital. I'm not saying Scat is done because he's young. He's not, Paulson Adebo was 26, 27 years old, which is not old, but I'm not saying that he's done, but this is an injury that is not going to be an injury that you can just snap your fingers and come back from.
Isn't this similar to the Odell injury?
No.
No. He
just tore his ACL.
Yeah, he just tore his ACL. This guy, he literally
ankle 1 year.
He hurt. He didn't completely fracture his ankle. I mean, like, I'm not fracture. He fractured his ankle. Scatterboo broke it to the fact that the bone was sticking out.
It took me. I fractured my ankle. Like I had a hairline fracture. It took me a year to walk. So
yeah, I fractured my forearm. I've told the story on the stream. I fractured my forearm. The bone was sticking out, and they have to, when that happens for a reason of infection, they have to immediately do surgery, and it's a pretty invasive surgery. And I did it on my forearm, so I could at least still, they still just they cast it for like 8-9 weeks. But I cannot imagine, because there's certain running backs, there are certain people in this league who have never come back from that injury. And right now we're seeing that with Paulson Adebo, because like I said, he completely fractured his fibula. I keep first using he completely broke his fibula. So I mean, it's like I said, it's a little different. So I mean, we he's young. Adrian Peterson came back 6 months after tearing his ACL.
Yeah, but Adrian Peterson's he's an anomaly.
I know that, but you know what? It's called being I don't know what that word. Optimistic. Oh God, I didn't know what that word was. Come on, guys, give me some optimism.
Well, I'm optimistic that we'll have a different regimen.
All right, I'm going to start with Mr. Prism. We're going to go around the circle. I want something optimistic about the 2025-26 Giants.
Well, moving on up
to the apartment in the sky.
We finally gonna get our defense right.
But come on, give me some. Come on, something real, something tangible.
I mean, listen. Maybe next year we trade Brian Burns and we get some draft picks, or maybe next year Jackson Dart throws the ball down the field. You know, it can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't totally dislike that Jackson Dart. I just don't like how much he relies on his legs. I don't think he's gonna prosper the way that he's playing now. So we change the system. Hopefully Dable and Shane are no longer here. Maybe we get an offensive coordinator or a head coach that really believes in Jackson Dart's arm and has him throw the ball. So maybe that's what I got. But if not them, then hey, we're let the tank begin and let's get the highest pick. That's where I'm at right now.
Let the tank begin. We are gonna go over because Mr. Jackson dropped. Oh, there's Mr. Jackson. We're gonna go over to Greg. I want something good about the 2025-2026.
Well, hopefully, like the brother just said before, I hope Jackson Dart develops. I hope we get an innovative offensive coordinator who can throw the ball around, do something different than we have now. The thing with Jackson Dart with me, I think he's gonna get himself killed the way he plays. I think he doesn't. I think he plays like
Jackson.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Keep going. Oh, Mr. Jackson dropped off.
Yeah, no. I think he's gonna get himself killed. You know what Jackson Dart reminds me of? He reminds me of that Bears quarterback who won the Super Bowl back in the day. McMahon, what's his name?
Yeah, Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon.
I wouldn't mind if he was Jim McMahon-esque. But Jim McMahon was as delicate as a daisy.
Yeah, exactly. But Jackson Dawson get himself killed if he doesn't learn how to play the quarterback position in the right way and slide. But hopefully Malik Neighbors comes back, and I think we have potentially. I don't know. We don't. It's not much to say, Tim. I'm sorry.
Well, Mr. James Stein is going to come in here strong because we're ending the stream in a few minutes. He's going to come in here strong, and he's going to tell me something good about the 2025-2026 New York Football Giants.
Well, hopefully we get a good high draft pick where we can draft.
We're getting one of those. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Okay. What we need to do is we need to get a whole new regime in here who knows how to draft, who knows how to build your talent, and who knows how to get people from free agency who actually produce for this team. Those are the things we need to do. But the key thing is you need new blood in here in terms of a coach, a GM. Okay? That's what you need. Otherwise, it's more of the same.
All right. That is the best answer. What we're gonna do is, like we always do when we close out, we're gonna do the round robin. We'll start with Mr. Stein on the bottom and go around. Your final thought of the show, because we are closing out the show. It's almost 3 hours in, and I don't get paid for this, so I'm tired. That was Joe Shane. Now I have a fucking headache. Now I have to now go drink heavily to get Joe Shane out of my mouth. That's what she said.
Okay. My final thought is I hope and I pray this current regime goes away. Otherwise, if they don't, George's going to have his career wasted. Neighbors is going to demand a trade after he's going after year 3. And Gadaboo, I don't know if he'll be the same, but he may do the same after year 2. So, and any other player who's worth a damn will not want to be a continuing part of a dysfunctional, crappy franchise. So we need a new regime.
We need a new regime. And Mr. Stein, thank you for coming. I'm going to drop you off so I can get to the final thoughts for everyone else. Thank you. You're greatly appreciated and always welcome back on the show when we're around. So make sure you stay tuned there. He said it best. Oh yeah, we pray. Oh yeah, we pray. We've got to pray just to make it today. Oh yeah, we pray. Thank you, MC Hammer. We're gonna go with we're gonna go with Greg in the middle there. I mean, Greg, you're not in the middle, but we're gonna go with Greg on the end. We're gonna give Mr. Bruce the final thought, but we're gonna go, Greg. You're close. You are closing out your segment. You are ready. You have to be tired. I know I'm exhausted, but what is your final thought? There's still 605 people watching this garbage.
Going into the season after they didn't draft Shador, I was so not enthusiastic not to watch this season. I didn't have any glimmer of hope on this team, and it seems like my fruition came true. I don't have any hope in this team, and like I found myself on Sunday watching other teams, like just sparsely watching the Giants game, and like that's how terrible we are. I'm tired of losing. I'm a diehard Giants fan. As you know, I'm from New York. I live in Sweden. I stay up late at night sometimes to watch these games. 2 o'clock in the morning.
You text me late at night.
Yeah, I do. And I love the Giants, and I've never seen them in the state for this last 14 years, and I just want to see a change. I think Joe Shane's he would probably go down as one of the worst GMs we have ever had. And we had some bad ones, and he makes Gutterman look like George Young, And this is terrible. And like you said, Tim, I think we have to tear this regiment down, start new, build from the ground up, keep our homegrown players, develop them, teach them, nurture them, and just move forward. We have to move forward and just go from there.
I love it. I think it's great. And we already prayed. So what we have to do now is we like the girls with the pumps and the bumps. Oh yeah, the girls with the pumps and the bumps. It's an East Side thing. Sorry, we had to drop pumps and the bumps. Why MC Hammer when he went gangster. But Greg, you're always welcome on. You know that. You got the Coke Zero shirt on. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. And like I said, sometimes I'm not quick getting back the text messages, but I always will make sure that because I do enjoy our little topics of conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Greg, I appreciate it, man. All right, and then there were 2.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of move off the Giants, but I'm gonna talk about like mostly like this show. I've watched Giants content since and I'm 29 years old. I've watched Giants content from a bunch of people since I was like 17, 18 years old. And, I've been a fan of this show, before, like the first time I came on this show was the Daniel Jones contract. And that's when
you came on from the porch.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the very first time you came, and what's funny thing is you were wearing a tank top and you came on from the porch. Yes, but go ahead. I always remember, like I said, I remember when people come on. I try to remember these things, but yes, I clearly remember that.
Yeah. So I've been a really huge fan, and it really saddens me to see you like leave. Hopefully like maybe if we get our wish and everyone's gone and we get the trades or people leave or whatever, then maybe you might find it to do it still. But all in all, we're definitely gonna miss you because it's we got a lot of content creators out there, but there's the same way how there's only one Pizzle, there's one Bad Dog, there's one Tim. You know what I'm saying? And you really represent for a good section of Giant fans, and we all love you, and we're gonna miss you, man.
I don't take compliments well, so fuck you. I don't take compliments well. I don't like compliments, but I really do appreciate that, and I do think, and I know a lot of people think it's silly. Maybe some people do, some people don't. But I think there is a core segment of people that are always in the chats, people that are always responding to the videos and leaving comments. And I always joke. I said, I don't call people fans. I don't call people subscribers. I think we're all family because of the fact that we all kind of come together in this segment and we're able to talk football freely. And yeah, I may insult you, but everyone knows it's out of love. And my wife always tells people, if Tim doesn't make fun of you or if he doesn't insult you, then he doesn't like you. So there's so many great people. I see Coach D, I see Jay Sports Cards, OG Knockout, Pimp Named Slipback. There's just so many people that I'm gonna miss. And it's not because I'm leaving because I'm leaving. It's just because it's time to do something else.
Right.
And I think that's the way we look at it. And I said, maybe there's an opportunity. Maybe there's a chance that for like 500 people or so, we build our own little, private channel and we can still do our thing and have our conversation. But you've always come on. You've always been eloquent. You've always been a great guest. You've always had, and that's one of the things that I love about the people that actually watch the channel, that don't just look at the thumbnails, but listen to what we're saying. Is we're not negative. We're just smart, intelligent, not just Giant fans, but football fans. And you and James and OGR and T-Brad and everyone else, it's been my honor, to give you guys a forum and a space where you can
be smart,
be smart, speak the truth. So like I said, it's not an end; it's a new beginning. And like I said, that's and like I said, we still got till February.
Right.
Lord knows, man. Gruden and I could come in. You could hire me, and then I'll be a giant content creator from inside the building.
That'd be awesome.
That's my goal in life. But I really do appreciate you, my brother, and I do appreciate you coming on and spending all the time that you do. I'm going to drop you off because I want to say my final goodbye because we've all been on for almost 3 hours. And like I said, make sure you stick around and make sure you jump back on because, like I said, we're gonna have a lot of fun shows. I'm gonna do more live streams and before we close this out. And like I said, you're always welcome when you're around. And you haven't been around.
Yeah,
you haven't been around.
I'm definitely gonna start coming around more and more. Definitely.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you so much, and I'm gonna drop you off so I can say our final farewells. Not forever, but I'm going to just. We are almost 3 hours in today. With everyone, we still have 608 people watching, so I do appreciate that. And I want to appreciate the Believe Network for picking us up about 4 months ago. I want to thank, of course, also the mighty FanDuel, which is FanDuel.com, the #1 sports book in the land. I saw Mr. Jackson had a response, and I wanted to get to hear. I couldn't hear you guys, but the one thing about the 2025-2026 Giants, hopefully we get a good head coach, a second wide receiver, and a strong-minded DC. I do love that. Let me see here. Let me get through a couple comments. Thoughts and prayers has asked me. That's Jay Sports Cards. Tim for head of football operations of the New York Giants. You know that. Jay also says, stick around, Tim. I'm dead inside. Can't do it without you. We're not, like I said, you're not alone. I always tell that, and this is the thing, guys, especially the people that, that this is an outlet for, this is a forum for, so, because, it's hard to go on these other shows and sit there and try to pontificate truth because they don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hear, the good, the bad, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the bad. They just want to hear everything's good. Everything's awesome. And like I said, I'm still doing Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. But I just want everyone to know. And like I said, you guys are still together. It's just that I'm going to still be around. I don't know how yet, but we'll figure out a capacity, but you guys are all going to be together. And like I've said it before, and I've said it a million times.
There isn't anything for you here. I have men at my back. When you stand alone and defy me, I'm not alone.
Just remember, guys, you're not alone. Everything's going to be fine. We still have till February. Once that last day in February hits, then it'll be a sad. I don't know how I'm going to handle the last day in February because that's going to be I'm not an overly emotional person, but like I said, just even with Mr. Bruce right now, that's it's going to be difficult. So, but until then, for the 604 people that are still out there For the people that are still over at the YouTube sphere as well, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you see those videos. Make sure you hit the like, you subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And as always, guys, I'm out.